Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and this is The Real, episode 204. GG's The Mouthful Podcast.
GG!
In unison. I love it. I love it. Those voices. First off, we are all quarantined. So on one side of Florida is Mr. Dream Twister, aka David Santos. What is up, sir?
Sir, I am so happy that we're able to do this because I was bored out of my mind. I already know.
Lies.
I already know how many corners are on each flake of stucco on my ceiling. I already counted it. I'm bored out of my mind, sir. Actually, that's not true. Yesterday I had some, finally had some relief. We're gonna be talking about that.
Awesome. And on the other side of Florida is Mr. Chaos Reaper, aka Hilberto. What is up, sir?
The one and only, and it feels good to be back. I shout out to the quarantine. That's the only reason I was able to do this. I was supposed to work today.
Not always the best reason.
I'm supposed to be clocking in right about now.
Right about
now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, actually, by now I already clocked in, and I'm about to head to my table.
Nice. Okay. All right. Well, regardless, I am happy that you're able to join us for this awesome episode.
Oh, me too. Me too.
First off, guys, what I want you to do is I want you to go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there. And, of course, please like, subscribe, and share this podcast with everyone. What we normally do when we're not quarantined is first we go into what we have been up to, move on into some various news items, and then finish with our hot topic of the week. This week's hot topic, let's talk next gen. So essentially this last week, we finally got word of some information from PlayStation 5. Probably a little too much info, or it was literally an info dump. Mark Cerny being Mark Cerny, just giving you all the details of everything underneath the hood. And of course, we've had the details already of the Xbox. So
even if you didn't understand it.
Yeah, exactly. Today, what we'll do is we will go into those details and look into what to expect out of these two upcoming consoles. Even though, considering the situation, and I think you guys can all agree that it's probably going to get delayed until maybe next year. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, they're all targeting 2020. They're still saying that. But just looking at the situation as it is right now, there's a high possibility that both of them, could get delayed because they just need to meet fiscal year and fiscal year. I mean, they're gonna want to do holiday, of course, but in the worst case scenario, if they can meet at least fiscal year, that gives them until March. Release?
Yeah, April 1st, before April 1st of next year.
Yeah, right, April.
So for April Fools?
For April Fool, yeah, before April Fools.
So, but I mean, missing the holiday window, it's gonna be crushing already. I mean, even more so that it already is, with the situation that has been going on. But yeah, I can see that a reality.
Yeah, I'm not up to date with a lot of things, but I don't know how they're.
So we're having that quarantine.
How
there's a virus.
Quarantine does that.
Yeah,
virus.
I don't know how they're what do you call it? Their manufacturing it's affected by all of this, but it really depends.
Yeah, the manufacturing. Well, there's the in there. I guess we can probably talk about that later. But in there, that lies the issue that the manufacturing will be done in, I believe it's called Foxconn, and that's in China. And China obviously is being decimated right now. Yeah. So, and then on top of that, they do a lot of the manufacturing for a lot of products. So if all those products kind of back up, then everything's going to back up, unless one of these companies decide to pay to get moved up the list once things are up and running again. So it's that, and on top of that, this is really, really going to hurt the economy, and it's already hurting the economy, and we don't really know when the end is, even though we know it's coming, but we don't know when that will be. So the economy itself can it's going to tank, and a lot of people are going to maybe not be able to pay $500 for a console. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So because of that, that alone may let them delay it as well. Because exactly what happened with the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Because that's why PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 was such a long cycle, was because of that recession that we had. So who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys, let's start with what we have been up to. I just realized I was very depressing. So now I really want to talk about good stuff. So let's start about what we've been up to.
Really
Uh,
downer of an intro there.
yeah, I was, really, really downer. Um, I'm going to start with a gentleman who's been away for a little bit, Mr. Chaos Reaper. How you been?
I've been all right. I wish I'll be able to take part of the podcast more often, but hopefully I'll be able to work that stuff out soon. Now that I can actually swap shift and whatnot. Before I get into what I've been up to, gentlemen, are you guys imbibing tonight?
Oh, of course.
Oh, you know what? I just ate and I had a beer and I'm gonna go look for one because I don't want to be left alone.
All right,
I'll be
I'm
right back.
actually for now I'm taking it easy. I'm just having
Oh,
an Angry Orchard for now.
okay.
Later on, vodka and pineapple juice will be introduced.
Damn. So
Oh
they
yeah.
say that if you start with what is it, liquor before beer, you're in the clear.
Oh really?
Beer before liquor, never been sicker. You ever
Well,
heard that one?
no, but I'm in quarantine and I don't care.
I know, right? Who cares if you get sick?
Who cares? I have a bottle of Polish vodka that was given to me by a friend before I left my
Nice.
previous job. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. I tried it a couple of days ago with some orange juice, which, by the way, it's about as scarce as toilet paper for whatever reason. I guess vitamin C. It's everybody's like juicing up on vitamin C.
Hmm.
Um, what I've been up to
Sorry,
gaming
guys.
wise,
I had to drive to the store. I'm back. Okay. All
that
right.
was
So yes,
that was some Sonic speed right there, son.
it is. The streets are kind of empty. So
I, really,
That helps out.
yeah.
everywhere was full to
Ah,
when
there
we
you
went
go.
out today. It's been a lot of Warframe. I've been playing a shit ton of Warframe. I've just been other farming credits or farming something. This is Space Farmville
Space
Mm.
with
Farmville.
ninjas. A lot of killing.
That makes it
Um,
a lot less interesting.
I know it makes it sound a lot less interesting, but I mean it's ninjas in space.
And then
So other than somebody complaining that they look kind of like insect-like, which they don't.
Oh yeah. No, I don't know anything
Um, I
about that. That
played some
guy's
Monster
crazy.
Hunter World, helping a friend, and well, I'm at it just doing stuff for myself as well. Since I've kind of like dropped off a little Monster Hunter World, and I still have a lot of things to do, and this is I realized that this is my biggest problem. I am so engrossed in all the things that I feel I have to do that I have no time for any other game.
Mm.
Oof.
My this is what I've been away for 2 weeks now, and the last time
Hmm.
I basically said the same thing. Honestly, I need to rein in the games as service addiction a little bit. 'Cause, I mean,
You're
I
part of the
play,
problem. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, well, I mean, they're really good games, bro.
Oh, no, they are. They are. Honestly, I can't say anything. The Division Two. Da, da,
Right?
da.
It's not like I'm not having fun. It's just that I feel like I'm missing out on so much, on so much.
Yeah.
I still haven't played God of War. Which we will
Jesus
get
Christ.
into. I did get Doom Eternal, which everything else will have to be put on hold for me to actually play this game.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
as soon as I'm done with Doom Eternal, I'll be like jumping right back in. And the worst part is there's a double XP weekend for Warframe, and like I said, I have a bunch of stuff I need to level up. And because I'm making builds, I just got a hold of a bow called the Kuva Brahma, which is which is arguably one of the, if not the strongest weapon in Warframe right now. It's a
Okay.
bow that shoots explosive tipped arrows.
Oh.
That sounds explosive.
It's like you living in a Michael Bay movie all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. Or Rambo, because he had
But
explosive
Oh
too.
yeah, that's right.
right, there you go. See a
Mhm.
Rambo. So um the build for it, it takes a while to get it done because obviously you gotta get the right mods, you gotta get the right polarities in the mod setup. I don't know if you guys are following me in any of what I just said.
This is
In
more for
voice
this is more
only.
for this is more for the people that listen to the podcast that might know about Warframe.
If
Because
anyone out there plays Warframe in any capacity, please leave a comment. Please don't make me feel
we're doing a reach
alone.
out program.
Um, and as you guys know, I bought Mortal Kombat 11 for one reason only.
Hmm.
The Spawn was confirmed in the combat pack. And I knew
Oh
the
yeah.
second I bought it. I knew it. It's going to be the last character to come out. I wasn't wrong. They made me wait 6 months for this, but
Dear Lord.
holy hell, was it worth it?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I was about to ask you. Yeah, was if the wait was worth it, or if
Oh,
we were disappointed. Sounds like
God. Okay.
you're not.
The character model looks absolutely amazing. The cape movements, the chains, the guns, the magic, just everything looks awesome. And he's a big character, beefy character. Like he's one of the tallest characters in the game, and he moves a little slow, but he hits like a truck.
Mm.
I actually there's a combo that I actually can do, and for this is for you, Jason. I can actually do this in online play. I've done it. That does 53% damage.
Damn. That's
You,
half. That's
yes,
it,
that's more
basically.
than half. You can literally make a full comeback just with that. Of
Nice.
course, you have to bait the your opponent into it because again, his movements are slow. You got to keep your distance. You got to play his range. You got to play what they call footsies, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's just you can't get too close, but you can't be too far. So you're gonna keep in that little area, in that middle area, just trying to like just moving back and forth. That's why I call it fuzzy because all you're doing is moving back and forth trying to land your attacks. It doesn't play like Sub Zero. Sub Zero, it's a very pressure heavy character. He's in your face, just hitting you constantly, trying to find an opening. Whether it's slows, whether it's overhead, whether it's a throw, he's always in your face. Spawn doesn't play like that. Spawn has actually good zoning, even though Sub Zero does have. Well, Sub Zero has like more anti zoning with the right variation. But Spawn can actually zone. He won't be the best zoner, but he can zone. He also can glide with his cape with one of the variations.
Nice.
Nice.
Kind of like
So
Mario.
you can, yeah, kind of like
Take it
that.
to
So you can basically glide over your enemy's projectiles and then kick them in the face. That feels kind of awesome.
Nice.
The
Nice.
brutalities, the fatalities, the intros, the outros, they all look amazing. I love it. I just wish it wasn't in this piece of shit of a game.
Well,
Okay?
I gotta believe you because you are like you're fighting games. I think the game is great from a completely like non-fighter person,
Yeah,
completely
if you play
newbie.
just the story mode, it's awesome. But then you get an online play, and like there's this Iron Black that hits you. There's a clip. I saw this clip.
Uh,
A player jump over the Aaron Black, and the Aaron Black does his little drop kick attack. While the other character was already on the other side, like behind Aaron Black, he still
mm.
hit him.
Shit.
Okay.
And I've seen this happen with Sonya.
Obvious, obviously some balancing issues.
No, there's the hit boxes, either the hit boxes or the colliders. It's broken. It needs fixing.
Mm.
Right.
Okay.
The defensive mechanics are garbage. I mentioned this before. So I just wish it was in a better game. But if there's anything this game has, is that it looks absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, he does.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! And I sent you guys. I posted a couple of pictures of Spawn in the group, which I know that when I take the screenshot, the screenshot and download it into my phone, it looks darker. So I'm gonna have to start messing around with that when I post them.
Hmm.
But they brought Keith David, who voiced Spawn in the
One.
HBO animated series. If you don't know Keith David, he's been in a
Oh, I
bunch of
know him.
games. I know you would. I know you
Yeah.
would.
David,
Because he's
wow.
been in movies, he's been in video games, he's been in cartoons.
He
Oh
was in
my
Halo.
god, this
He's got a great commanding
oh
voice.
Yes, he
my
does. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, it's so good.
it's it if
That's
you
the Master
haven't
Chief,
seen
no?
huh?
Who plays the Master Chief? Isn't that him?
No. No. He the only game that comes to me right now is he was in Modern Warfare 2. He was one of the
Okay.
sergeants, which
I
I
know he
guess
was
spoiler
in
warning for
Massive.
anybody that hasn't played it.
Oh,
He
my bad,
plays.
my bad. He plays. He doesn't play the Master Chief. He plays.
Oh no, but he was in Halo. You're right.
Yeah, he was in Halo, but he plays that Covenant guy. I forgot his name in
No,
Halo 2.
he
Keith
wasn't the
David something.
Covenant guy. He was
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
the Marines, wasn't he?
No. Halo 2. He's the arbiter. He's the arbiter.
Really?
Halo. Yes, he's the arbiter on Halo 2. Which has an amazing voice. That character, like he's, I prefer him more than Master Chief himself. I mean, any day.
Whoa.
Now, it's time to come up with the fact. The Master Chief is kind of a boring character. He's an
He
icon.
does. He
He's
does
a
for the
gaming
record play
icon.
Arbiter. Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
okay,
Eh,
so yeah,
confirmed.
so to hear his voice again as Spawn, I mean, it's like it's the Kevin Conroy to Spawn. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. I
And
got you.
it's just
Yeah.
I love it. I love to hear his interactions when he interacts with Scorpion. They act like they know each other, like they've seen each other before.
mm,
And I guess I'm just gonna give the
In
spoiler
hell.
warning. Yeah. That's the
Yeah.
thing because
Hmm.
I think one of the tidbits is that once Spawn took over Hell, he discovered more hells, and then the Netherrealm started invading his hell, and he ain't having that shit.
Hmm.
that's
That's
But
hellish.
awesome.
they stayed very true to the character. This man curses left and right.
Mhm.
All right. One of his intros with the Joker, the Joker says like, "Oh, you look like a hugger. Bring it in." And he Spawn just looks at him and says, I'll turn you ass out first, clown."
That's really good.
Nice.
So there's a lot of YouTube videos that is just dedicated to the interactions
Their
when
interactions.
before the fight. And I was watching the Joker's one for some reason,
Oh, it's
and
so funny.
dude, you realize the amount of dialogue that they have to make all of those encounters feel fresh.
Yeah.
Feel like the first time you see them, and a lot of them are hilarious, like the one
Yeah.
you
And
described.
there's a lot of movie references. Like throughout all of the introductions, I'm talking to all
Mm,
the characters, there's a lot of movie references to like this thing that are not even related to Mortal Kombat.
yeah.
Another intro that I like is when you fight against Sindel. She says like, "What is that putrid stench?" And he just says, "I've seen what is it? I've seen alley trash worth more than you."
Oh
Wow.
wow.
This
Damn.
dude is an absolute savage.
Savage. That
Savage.
right there, it should be fatality.
Just end
And
the
then
fight,
there's
one, and move on. So I've enjoyed his. I played his variations, but there's only really one that I really enjoy. The one that he uses the chains is it's fun. I mean, I didn't really use it a lot. Like I didn't play with it a whole lot, but Dark did. He told me that it's a lot of fun to play. You almost feel like you're actually Spawn using all the chains and whatnot. But when it comes to practicality, it's not good enough. When it comes to
Mm,
competitive, it's not good enough. So far we found one variation, which is called the one. It's a tournament variation, which is the one where you can do, every combo is 30, 40, 50%.
Damn.
mm.
Yeah. So been having a load of fun with that. I can't finish a fight without brutalitying someone or fatalitying him. Although the outros are amazing. So at some point I will enjoy those. I did get one where He switches the cape over the screen, and the next time you see him, he's sitting on his throne.
The outros. Yeah, the outros. I've seen
Dude, I'm
them. Yeah,
telling you,
they
it's
look
so good.
amazing.
Now I think that's pretty much all done with game because I bought Doom Eternal, but I haven't even started it. I did download it and install it at least.
Yay!
Yes. Thank you, quarantine.
An A for effort.
Yeah, okay. I got it today, right? Because my wife wanted because she already has it. Animal Crossing, so she slips me.
Ooh, nice.
I was in the bathroom and she slipped me this piece of paper under the door. It says Animal Crossing, yes or no. So, and then she throws me a marker. So I grabbed the marker and put underneath the Animal Crossing with Doom Eternal. Yes.
Relationship goals.
There's this awesome music video that you really should check out. It's on the group. It's actually pretty fucking cool. Dude. It's an Animal Crossing Doom Eternal
crossover.
I guess
almost.
Crossover, yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the
group. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna tag it so you can see it right
Please,
now.
Tag me and tag my wife because we need to see that because the fact that happened, the coincidence, I love it.
It was pretty awesome.
What was I saying? Oh,
okay. Relationship.
So and then it's when shortly after that we heard that my workplace was closing. And stuff like, you still want to get the game set? Of course. You're telling me that in 2 weeks and we're going to be quarantined. We need entertainment. This is a necessity.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
Oh wow. Okay. So, all right. So let me break in here for a second and let me ask you the question: did you go to GameStop to get this game?
I bought it digital.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Good job. I was ready, dude. I had it ready. I was about to destroy you and just like boot you out of the podcast if you said that you went to GameStop.
Why?
Because, dude, have you heard?
Because they're keeping them open because they're a necessity.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what we got digital for.
Yeah, we will get to that. We'll get to that. But
I did consider it though. I'm not gonna. I consider it because I really like physical copies, but I'm like, I'll get it later.
Nah.
I'll get on Amazon and get me a physical copy because I want a physical copy of Doom Eternal.
There you go.
Now let me see. I started watching the season 3 for Castlevania.
Nice. How's that going?
I think we're on to the 3rd or 4th episode. I'm loving it.
I haven't started. I
love this show, man, and it's so funny. They have some really
funny moments. It's very well written. Yes, there's a good amount of humor in there.
Oh my god,
like sarcasm and shit. Yeah.
Oh, they go from like slaughtering innocents to like a lighthearted conversation. Like right after it was like, wow, this is Castlevania. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. In a nutshell.
Yes. I saw the Sonic movie. Did I mention that before, or was that between the last 2
weeks? No, actually, no.
I think that was between, yeah. We have not heard this.
Okay, so yes, I watched the Sonic movie.
I'm sorry for you.
Let's talk about it.
Oh, you don't have to be. It's so good.
Yeah. So I will not probably say so good, but I'm glad I watched it.
It's a family movie, and you have to understand that.
Yeah,
that's the first thing you gotta come to terms with. This is a family movie.
Yes.
But it's still good. I mean, the characters and everything, it was nice. It was really nice. And I'm sad to say that some people stood up and left before the after credit scenes. I'm like,
post credit?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it does have, because of course.
In a world after Marvel movies, how do you leave? I mean, you gotta stay until that screen is blank. You don't get up from this chair. You know,
I agree.
That's the Mad Dog way.
Yeah, I've been doing that since before Marvel films.
Really?
Yes. Oh yeah. He needs to know who was the key grip of the boom.
Exactly.
The makeup for the
who was holding the boom mic. Yeah, everything.
He needs to know if this movie was a work of fiction or if it was
based on a true story.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Every movie, even those that are based on real
story.
No, they all have that thing at the end.
This might be, what is that? What's this
any connections, similarities or whatever is
that's what it is.
Purely coincidental. Even though They're trying like it's a movie meant to be. It's weird. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I also started the second season for Altered Carbon.
Oh man, you are ahead of me. I haven't watched any of that shit yet.
Oh, I'm not that ahead, sir. I legit barely started it, and I barely got to like half of the first episode because then I had to leave and do something. I'm liking Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
Okay, I am liking him as the character, and the way they progressed it, I'm okay with it. I don't know if anybody ever had a problem with that. I did. I think it's pretty cool, and it goes with the theme. It goes with the theme of the show, anyways. So I'm looking forward for the rest of it. At some point that I stop playing Warframe, I will sit down and watch it.
Warframe, you're ruining my life.
Listen, man, oh my god, I got back into that game so hard, and I really need to slow down. I haven't even finished the story for Final Fantasy 14. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with me? That's another gas game that I gotta get back into. You see, it's an addiction, man. It's a sickness.
You, man.
It sure is.
Time to cut the habit.
Oh, it's so hard though. And it really shouldn't be, because if you think about it, like, you never really fall that behind, right? It's never really that hard to catch up. And I'm not talking like at the top of being the best, but at a level where you can do everything comfortably. It's never that hard to catch up, especially in a game in Warframe where, like, I've been having god builds for years, and even though those god builds are like outdated, they could still perform in this current not update, what would you call it? State of the game. There you go. In this current state of the game. But even though at this point I've updated like 4 of my frames, and they're like absolutely ridiculous. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty much what I've done for 2 whole weeks.
Nice. There you go. Guys. You have caught us up.
Oh my god! Yeah.
We're up to speed on the chaos.
Nice. All right, Mr. David Santos.
Oh,
I'm gonna go next. No, go ahead. I love doing that. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask you if I'm gonna have an hour too. Oh, that's messed up. Let me have a sip of my beer. All right. So what have I been doing since last week? All right, not much. I finished Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Nice. Finally. I think I put about 30 something hours, so 38 hours. Clocked me at 30 hours because I like to, explore and yada yada. And I try to do it without resorting to any guides or anything like that. But at some point, here's the problem with this game. Unfortunately, this game is good, but if it has some major issues, and among those is the fact that at some point the game gets very abstract. Like what I mean by that is it's almost like it's expecting me to subscribe to Nintendo Power so that I can get the actual. You remember with Castlevania Simon's Quest, the part where you have to
Nintendo Power.
Yeah, the part where you. You remember Nintendo Power, the magazine?
Oh, I remember it. I'm just like so random that you mentioned it like this.
Oh, because the thing is with that was that Simon's Quest, Castlevania 2, got very obtuse and very abstract at one point, where you had to do something that there's no way in hell you would have figured it out that you had to do unless you read Nintendo Power. Mm-hmm. So that was it. With
Bloodstained. Why would they do that?
There was back in the day it was because of mistranslations and and stuff like that. Really? But because the Japanese version of Simon Quest explained, it didn't tell you exactly what you needed to do, but it gave you hints that make sense. And people could sort of figure it out. Oh, okay, so it's talking about a tornado or whatever, and it's telling me to go this place. The English translation, they have none of that. So of course people were completely lost. And I think what you have to do is like ridiculously stupid. It's like you have to go to a very particular pixel area of a place in the game and kneel down for like a few, for like a few seconds, and then this tornado takes you, comes in and whisks you away to the next section of the game. And it's like, how the hell am I supposed to know that I had to do that, without
Yeah.
someone telling me? So so with Bloodstain, it almost got to be that. And I was upset because here I was trying to beat it without resorting to any cheats, or not cheats, but without having to resort to going online and going to, looking at game fact or
Yeah,
something.
user guides or something like that. Yeah, walkthroughs.
Yeah, and at one point I was like, forget it. I just want to beat this game because I already put like 30 hours on it. I just want to see the ending. So like the last, I will say, the last 15% of the castle, I just cheat my way through it. I just went and saw, okay, where I have to go. Okay, let me go here. Okay, how do you defeat this boss? Okay, like I didn't care about it because again, the game got too obtuse at some point. And I feel like that's a major flaw because it doesn't really start like that. At the beginning, it has a nice pace. And I realize in those games you tend to get stuck sometimes, but every now and then you discover you end up realizing, oh, it's because I need to do this, and then you continue, and that's part of the fun. Also, even when you're lost, you're still fighting monsters and you're still getting your character, you're progressing your character, and making her stronger and stronger. So it really doesn't matter. I'm just saying that I got to a part where I was already one shotting like like the big
Everything.
monsters, kind of like Alucard when you start Symphony of the Night, where he's one shotting the huge wolves and stuff.
Hmm.
And I felt like, okay, so I have obviously grinded way too much already, and I still don't know where to go. So anyway, uh, past couple boss fights, they were good and all. But the ending wasn't anything that was like it didn't, like the payoff wasn't there. After spending all that time,
Hmm.
the payoff really felt a little like, okay, so that's it. For the masterpiece that you showed to be at the beginning, you just leave me with, with this. Obviously, I'm not gonna spoil anything on it. Um, I would still recommend the game, especially if you're a fan of Symphony of the Night. If you like the Castlevania games, there's just no reason not to play this game. Just be mindful that it is not, the second coming or anything like that. This game is gonna frustrate you in some parts. You know, and that's all I have to say about Bloodstained. I'm glad that I finished it. Great soundtrack, by the way.
Nice.
Um, I started and had to start. Or actually, I continued because at one point I started and then I put it on the website, and then I picked it up again. I don't know if you remember Iron Maiden.
Oh
Uh,
wow, yeah, yeah, I remember.
so Iron Maiden, which it's meant to be like this homage to like old school shooters, on PC, like more more Duke Nukem 3D than Quake,
Hmm.
I would say. But it was that. But I don't know if it's the speed of those games or the fact that I'm getting old already, or my eyes have they don't adjust anymore to the speed. But I get sick playing those games, and I
Damn.
say there was another one that came out on PC that I also wanted to
Oh,
play.
you.
That
I
was an
remember you
homage,
mentioning that. Yeah, yeah, I
and
remember
it
you
was
mentioning.
too fast. Yeah, it was way too fast. I forgot the name of it, but it was too fast, and I could not enjoy it. And then with this one, man, I wanted to play. I wanted to enjoy it because, like, I bought a new gaming mouse. I think I mentioned on the other podcast. I think you tried it, Mad Dog, and you didn't like the fact that it was so light. It was
Paper
like,
paper light.
dude, it's a feather. This thing is it's a very, very, very light, light gaming mouse. But God, playing this and playing Doom with it. Oh my God! If I have not discovered the perfect mouse for me. Something that I feel like I'm just moving my hand. That I'm barely moving my hand, having to I'm barely having to move my hand to get like precision, like perfect precision, or as much as I could do, because I'm not like a super shooter person either. I love shooters, but I'm not like really good at it or anything like that. Um, but so
He's just being humble, guys. He's actually a pro
Yeah,
player. Like
he
some
is. Yeah.
nope,
some
that's
Evo shit right there.
that is a hell of a no. I don't do multiplayer. I don't do the Call of Duties. I don't do because I know my place. I think I was doing Apex Legends when it came out, and then when people started getting really good, I was like, nope, fuck this shit, I'm out. Same thing with Overwatch. I was like, nope, people are too good now, and this hampers my fun. I need to play with mediocre people. I need to play with noobs, and
Wow.
yeah,
You're not that bad. Come on, man.
yeah.
Damn.
No. I had to. But I do like my first person shooters, and obviously third person shooters and all that, and that's why I wanted to get a good mice for it, and for $50 you can't beat this one. You absolutely cannot, except unless you don't like like mice, like Mr. Mad Dog over here. um
I don't mind mouse. I just that one is dude. It's a feather. It's a feather. It is literally you just breathe out and it
it's
moves.
awesome. It,
You know,
yes, actually, you blow on it and you can move it with just blowing on it.
that's not a
uh
selling point.
oh, it is, because a lot
No,
of people
it's
like
not.
that. A lot of people want that.
I can't handle that. Like my mouse has settings for sensitivity. I can't put it on the
No, no,
highest one.
no, no, not the sensitivity. I'm talking about the weight.
It's
The
yeah.
weight
It's
itself.
literally
It
a
is,
feather. Yeah.
yeah, it is super, super duper light. I think it's like
It
60,
feels
67
unnaturally light.
grams. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But sturdy, which is weird, because if it doesn't feel like you can crush it, but somehow it feels like it's not there. Anyway, Iron Maiden, good game, but I still can play it. At least not without taking some Dramamine or something, some shit like that. But I needed to play something because it was still the beginning of the week, and Doom wasn't gonna be released until Friday. So I needed to get my hands on something. Like, what can I get? What can I play? Let me check my backlog. Aha! I know the perfect game for this 3 or 4 days that I'm gonna be quarantined. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Oh shit! That
Yes.
should be finished.
Wow.
You had better have finished this shit. That's all
I
I'm about
want
to
that
say.
game.
I'm actually walking and pacing in the room right now because I'm a little bit nervous that he's going to say, "Yeah, but I didn't get to finish it."
Let
Then
me
I'm
tell
actually have to
you.
disconnect
Let me.
this fucking
Let me.
podcast.
Well, yeah, but I didn't get to finish.
Oh, for the love!
Listen, 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 listen. Let me tell you my impressions.
Wait. Before you continue, isn't
Okay,
this supposed to be like a short game?
it is. It
Yes.
is a short game. It's just
That's all I wanted to clear up.
life happened and I couldn't get to, and let's put it this way. By Thursday, I was too psyched up about Doom releasing at midnight that I couldn't sit down to play anything else, because anything that I will put in, I will be unfair to it. I will not give it a go. So I just that was on Monday that I started playing, or Tuesday maybe, that I started playing it. I got, I put like I don't know, probably like 3 hours. No, no, not even. Probably like 2 hours, let's say. I don't know. But let me tell you about the first impressions.
Hmm.
Holy shit, this game is awesome.
The
Holy,
sound, right? The
the,
audio, 3D audio sound. It's
this,
ridiculous.
this is, and we're gonna talk about it later on when we start talking about the console specs and whatnot. But uh, there was especially on Sony's camp, they give it a very they give it a lot of importance to the sound positioning and sound design and all that, and that I understand that's one of the major selling points of the PS5, and yada yada. We'll talk about that. And to me, sound was like, yeah, I could appreciate cool sound, but like I don't have amazing speakers, and more than likely I'm going to be using a headphone anyway. Like, what does it matter? I mean, I can appreciate it, but I'm not going to be all audiophile about it. You know what I mean?
Now, correct
Hmm.
me if I'm wrong. I thought this game was supposed to be played with a headset.
You want to.
Preferably,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, preferably. It like, and it tells you, and some of those games that tell you, oh, you should play with headphones. You always feel like, oh, don't be pedantic. Come on, I'll play whatever way I want. No, no, no. This is a game that you definitely want to play on headphones, because the whole thing with this game is, or at least as far as I've gotten, is that you're playing this character, right? But at the same time, this character is, I guess, she's suffering from schizophrenia,
She has mental
or
health issues. We're not
yeah,
entirely sure what they are
I
because of the time frame. But yeah, I mean, it could fit into schizophrenia.
yeah, yeah, because she's constantly listening, hearing voices in her head. But the way that they engineered the sound in this game is in such a way that you hear those voices inside your head almost. And I don't want to oversell it, because again, it's probably going to be depending a lot of on the type of headphone you're using. And I have a HyperX, which is a good headset, but it's not a great one or anything like that. But it's still the fact that you s- you could you almost feel, the doubts, or the things that the character is meant to be going through, as she goes throughout this voyage. And and it almost freaks you out a little bit in a way, but not freaks you out, not maybe freaks you out is not it's not a good way, but it definitely gives you goosebumps. It's like, holy
Hmm.
shit. It's definitely one that I don't you worry. I didn't start it. I mean, I didn't finish it, and Doom got in the way. But oh yes, I am coming back. I'm definitely going back to it, because now I'm super interested about the second one. I want to see how this one ends, and I want to see, and I'm going to look forward to the second one that got announced already by Microsoft and yada yada. So the thing that I also really really like about it is it's not a collectathon type of game, or one that that you feel compelled to super go into like every nook and cranny. I think there are some things that, yes, you kind of want to try to look to see, but it's more like for exposition purposes. It's not that you're dealing with loot or with a menu screen. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that's the type of game, unless I'm just too early and it
No,
hasn't been. No. Okay, good,
it's not a
good,
long
good.
game, dude.
It's not a long game. All right, good, 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 good.
If it's not
Because,
introduced already, it's not there.
no, all right, all right, all right. Good. No, because I don't know, because Doom keeps. It seems like, and we were talking about that. It
Oh dear
seems like it
lord,
just keeps showing
yes.
you, oh, and now you can do this, and here's a menu now where you can customize your blood type or whatever the hell, Oh, but no, it's almost. It reminds me of. You remember playing Inside? Did you ever play Inside? I know you did, Mad Dog. But did you play Inside, Chaos?
No, doesn't sound familiar.
So Inside is it's a game. It's a game made by the same person that made or the same developer that made Limbo, and it is that type of game where you don't you don't have to worry about um, gear and loot or anything like that. You're just walking. All you're doing is just walking. It's not a walking simulator either, because in the case of this particular game, it's a platformer.
Hmm.
Um, Inside and Limbo, but in this, so it kind of reminds me of that. Senua Sacrifice remind me of that type of game. Not in the fact that it's a platformer, because it's 3D obviously, and it looks amazing. And I'm
Oh,
playing it on PC,
ridiculous.
so it's the widescreen. The PC port is spot on. It is perfect. And it runs super well. Uh, so so the the fact that you're just like walking and exploring, or not having to without having to worry about your gear or stuff like that, is definitely a change of pace. It's a nice one. It's like very good palate cleanser, and I regret not having finished it before before Doom. I wish I could, man. I had a day. I had one particular day on this week that I just could not do or play anything, and it was situation beyond my control. Otherwise, yeah, I probably would have beaten it. I probably would have had a different tune to mention here. Uh, but yeah, other than those three, that's pretty much all I've been playing, and I haven't watched anything because movies are boring nowadays.
Sure.
Sorry, but sorry.
Damn, bro, what did movies ever do to you?
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's not the movie's fault that you have like no attention span.
I
Jeez.
can't control them. I can't control them. I get bored.
All right. So I've actually, because I have this list, I'm looking at it going, damn, what have I even worked this week? Because I've been doing a lot of shit. So
you're gonna have to start cutting on that list or mention it in passing. I did not mention that I also played Doom, obviously, but it's because I know
we're gonna talk about that. Yeah.
So
all right. So starting with
this working from home thing is giving you a lot more time, huh?
It does.
I know,
It does
right?
because I only work 4 days a week. I work so basically it's only 4 days instead of 5. So I have 3 days off, and then that's a lot of time to. And then they're during the week. You know what I mean? So my wife is usually working, which
You don't have
kind of gives
commute
me a lot.
anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have a commute, so my commute is literally the 5 seconds it takes to leave this room to go right into the couch over there.
Wow, wow,
I
sounds
know.
rough.
It is.
sounds
It
rough.
is. It's the perfect example of roughing it. It is. I mean, I hate to say it, but
Yeah. You gotta do the hustle. Some of us hustle, right?
all right, real quick, guys. So first off, I did want to message. I finally finished the Messenger, which that game is great, guys. That game is great. If you love Ninja Gaiden from back in the day, this is essentially that game, but on top of that, it's built out to be so much more awesome.
I
The
was just
story's
about to
fun.
ask if that's one of your frou-frou games.
No, this
man, no.
this one is it's actually cool game certified.
I kind of
Wow.
I kind of went off the title like, wow, this sounds like a walking simulator.
No, I know.
The Messenger.
This one is it has, and it says it on the label. It's 100% free.
First off, screw both of you guys. All right. No, anyway, the Messenger. It's again very Ninja Gaiden. It's really really well written. Boss fights are really a lot of fun and challenging. The later levels are like some challenging Celeste original, Ninja Gaiden 1, 2, 3 type of difficulty, which was great. I mean, I loved every part of it. And I'm glad I made it through. I actually played about halfway through the game when I had on PC, and then stopped because, well, it was on PC. So, and then I re-downloaded. I rebought it again for PlayStation 4, and I played through it completely. And the music is actually pretty good too.
Completely proving once and for all that Mr. McDonald has a bias against PC for no other reason than the fact that it's a PC. Sir, you're a PCist. That's what you are.
That's
sure.
some serious accusation right there, and he's owning the shit out of it. Okay,
we have it. We have it on record.
Well,
we have it recorded.
I'm not even going to deny it. But why should I deny it?
I propose that you guys elect me as the president of the group. From now on, to carry the torch. We don't need the elitist consolist.
The elitist consolist. That is an oxymoron if I've ever heard one. Oh man,
console master race.
more
Yeah,
like
the
a
console master
full
race. Yeah,
console
that,
master race.
doesn't
Now
even make
that's an
sense.
oxymoron. Am I right?
Oh
Sorry.
man.
Go.
No, you're good. You're good. So yeah, the messenger, I beat it. Good, definitely get it. I also played today. I was able to start and
How
finish
to
the
finish?
demo
Oh, I knew it.
of Resident Evil 3. Of
Oh,
course, I was gonna do it.
Oh
And
yeah, Dark will
let me
definitely
tell
be
you,
happy with this part of the podcast.
okay.
let me tell you, I can't. I really am looking forward to that freaking game. Um, it is first off. This also builds upon so far, from what I've seen, builds upon Resident Evil 2, in the sense that there's no ink ribbons, or at least I didn't see any, unless it's just for the demo.
That's a demo.
Uh, I know, but what I'm saying is it doesn't, like, when you, if you die for some reason, you don't go all the way. There's no save point. There's no. It literally loads right where you had. Of course, I only died once, so I don't know if that happens. And yes, I died to the nemesis because fuck that guy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well,
For
Um,
real?
oh yeah, oh yeah. And it's not even that long. It's not even the demo. I think took me maybe 30 minutes total. Dude, graphically, it is just as good, if not even more impressive than Resident Evil 2. She moves much better. She has that little dodge thing that she had in Resident Evil 3, which really really helps. It, like, you can literally jump back, or like do a quick dodge back as they're trying to reach out for you,
Look,
and that shit right there helps.
those graphics
Yeah.
look phenomenal. They look ridiculously
Oh
good.
my god, it is really really nice. Um, Let me
And,
see
and, and
the.
and her character, her like I really like her character design.
Oh, I
I don't
agree. I mean,
know, but
yeah, I'm
I'm
glad
in
they
love.
didn't go with the. Yeah. Oh well, shit. Okay. I'm just glad I didn't. I'm glad they didn't go with the stupid mini skirt and tube top. Which,
Oh,
yeah,
pre-order.
I'm sure it's in there. Um,
It's the OC.
but no, it's actually it's a lot of fun. I definitely, well, I don't know if anyone's going to play that now with Doom out, but at
Ah,
some point, if you're not going to buy the game, or if you're not, that it comes out April 3rd, so there may be some time between now and then. It definitely recommended. You can get a feel for it. It just looks really good. It's also, like, the characters, just from the little bit I saw, very well voice acted. The writing so far seems to be significantly better than most Resident Evils. So I can
no
definitely
two
say,
sandwiches. What you're saying?
yeah, I can definitely see. I feel like they really kind of, they did the first one and said, okay, let's improve where we can improve, and it's really good. Um, I also started playing this other game. This is me waiting for Doom, essentially. Planet Alpha, which I actually uploaded a gameplay video of it,
Now
and
there's your pro title, Chaos. That's the one. We found it. We
screw,
found the one because of course.
screw you, hippie. Uh, so,
I don't know what's going
so
on.
so no, if you check out the video, it is on the Good Game YouTube channel, and I also posted on the group. But essentially, what the game is, you mentioned inside. It basically is inside, only it takes place in this foreign planet, and he's like almost like a spaceman who's out there exploring the planet and all that. It's a very beautiful game, and again, very like the Dream Twister you played inside, very similar to that.
Mhm. All
Probably
right.
not the same type of themes,
Mhm.
which the themes of Inside were a little bit more closer to home, like something that you can kind of relate with. This is like some foreign planet. Feels like you're running through Pandora from freaking uh
from,
that
from Borderlands.
for no the
I was gonna
planet
say.
Pandora from, fuck, what's the name of the one with the Navi? What the hell is that movie?
Avatar,
Oh,
Avatar, Avatar.
Avatar.
Avatar. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Papyrus.
So that planet that you saw in Avatar is very similar to that, very foreign, a lot of like foreign creatures and life and all that stuff, and plants and shit like that. There's a day and night cycle that you can kind of control, which is actually pretty
What?
cool. A lot of puzzles and stuff like that. You have to play the game to understand how you can control that. The only thing is, like I said, I mean, I'm comparing it to Inside because it's almost basically the same type of gameplay as Inside, and the same. You're basically going right the whole time,
Yeah.
but and sometimes left. But the where it falters is Inside is exceptionally made. There isn't a hiccup, a frame rate hitch or anything like that. Nothing. It's you
Yeah.
remember Inside is a beautifully crafted game.
Very smooth.
This is
The
a
whole
very beautiful game, but you can tell the hands behind it maybe needed a little bit more time with it.
mm,
But it's not in any way broken or anything like that. And like I said, the themes that it has, they're not as relatable as Inside was. So
mm.
either I didn't get a chance to finish it, and now that Doom's here, I don't think I will. But who knows? We'll see if I go back to it. It's also not a very long game. Um, Real quick, I do have two movies before we get into the Doom discussion. uh, Two
Just get him
movies.
out of the way.
I'm gonna
Get
get
it
them out
out
of the
of
way. Get it out of the way. Get it out of the way. First and foremost, I saw Gemini Man with Will Smith,
the way. Oh.
and that movie, when it comes to the action,
Mhm.
really awesome. I
All
mean,
right. All right.
some
Good.
top-notch action sequences. The special effects, I'm sure you know from the trailer. There's a young Will Smith and the old Will Smith. The
Mhm.
special effects,
So it's the Fresh
uh,
Prince of Bel Air.
yeah, basically. I mean, almost literally, almost exactly like him. There are moments where that looks almost too good. And then there are moments that are like, wow, that looked horrible. You know what I mean? It's
Oh.
just so it's like it's weird. It's like they just didn't let it bake long enough for whatever reason. And then the
Uh-huh.
story itself, believe it or not, I found out after I watched the movie that the script for this film has been around since the 90s. So it
Holy
kind of
crap!
feels like it kind of feels like a '90s film when you have the writing and everything involved. So,
Oh
um,
wow! A lot of people
uh,
did not like that movie that much. Like,
I thought it was okay. I don't think it was bad. I'm not a big Will Smith fan anymore because I just get tired of seeing him. And this is him. This is just
mhm.
Will Smith. It might as well be, and so much so you have Fresh Prince there. You know what I mean? So, so yeah, that's so it's not a bad like if you find it for free on Prime or something like that. Check it out. It has great action sequences. There's some action sequences where I'm like, I don't know how they did that, but holy
uh,
shit, that looked good. I mean, there are some action sequences that rivaled like the Mission Impossible stuff. It's really really good.
wow.
But that's it. That's like the that's like the thing you're gonna watch for. You know what I mean? So anyway, so that's I don't know a rental at best. And then the last movie I saw was Jojo Rabbit,
Oh,
which
I wanted to watch that, and I wanted to watch it with you. Remember
uh,
we were like,
yeah,
oh yeah, the moment it comes in the movie theaters, we're down.
yep,
Whoa there,
yeah,
Oh,
whatever.
Megatron. What's going on there, buddy?
huh?
Yeah. He sounds like you sound like you may be cutting up. I don't know if it's recording that way though. But you might want to
Oh,
check your mic. Um,
microphone
so
check.
yeah, George, well, you sound good now. I don't know if you just went too hot and it just suddenly
Oh,
started doing that for you, but
I tend to do that.
Joe. So yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you do. Jojo Rabbit. Jojo Rabbit's interesting. I don't know. I can highly recommend it because it's a lot of fun, but it brings light to the you know uh, World War II and everything that happened in Germany, and it's just this kid who is like a diehard Nazi fanatic. You know what I mean? And this is the main character, and you kind of have to relate with him a little bit. It is a comedy.
Yeah. Oh,
It is
thank
actually
you.
very funny.
And I
Uh,
do not want it to be on record that relate to any Nazi sympathizer ever. I don't care if it's a kid.
the
That's
I hear you. I hear you. Um, Still, it's an interesting. It's the kid actually has like an imaginary friend, and his imaginary friend is Adolf Hitler, which is
Yeah,
a very weird Adolf Hitler. Not the actual Adolf Hitler, but like this
I
weird
think I saw the
adult
trailer
friend.
for this movie, and this got really weird really quick.
Oh,
yeah.
it's actually it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's also Scarlett Johansson's in it, and she probably has one of the best performances of her career. Really, really good.
Wow.
The kid actors are also extremely like sometimes you have kid actors, you're like, oh god, this kid is annoying, right? No, these kids are hilarious. And the movie's well written, and then they deliver the lines very well for young actors. Um, definitely can recommend that. It's definitely one of my favorites. Obviously it is not a a Nazi sympathizing film, but it almost asks that question,
Hmm.
because we remember from I don't remember where I heard this from, but basically one of the first countries the Nazis ever invaded was their own Germany. So
Hmm.
it's like those people, well, what do they do if that's their government? If you're living in a government, you kind of support your government. It is what it is. You don't know what, and you're also getting the propaganda that, oh, this is what's happening, and so that's kind of the light that is painting, not the Nazis, just the people who are within the country itself.
Hmm.
So interesting time. So anyway, Doom Eternal, guys.
Yes! It is
uh, it
time.
is time
All right,
for
that's
Doom
gonna be its
Eternal.
own segment. So cue the music
Cue the transition music.
here. Okay,
That's an
The,
that's the cue.
interesting
the
transition.
uh, so both of us, I guess, started literally last night on at midnight exactly.
Yeah.
And first off, let's get it out of the way.
No.
It plays so well. I mean, it is everything from 2016. Doom is present in the sense that it has its speed, it has the graphic nature of ripping everything apart. It is all kinds of awesome. When
I'll
you
tell you
when
what
you
it
get
doesn't have. I'll tell you what it doesn't have.
okay,
The pistol. The pistol.
the what, the pistol. Oh, okay, well that's good. Who needs a damn pistol?
I know, and
um,
I love that. I love that they were like, because at first I got concerned. It's like, really, you're gonna be changes? So even the original Doom had the pistol, but no, you know what? It might have had it as your starting weapon, but you never use that shit. So why occupy a space that you could give to a better, more powerful weapon? This game allows
agreed.
you to start already with the shotgun in it, and it is amazing.
Yeah, agreed. It is a lot of fun. I have some concerns, none of which really make it a bad game. Not even in essence, but overall, the tension of the fights when you're about to get into a scramble with a bunch, and it's like you're constantly just jumping from one side of the room to the other, just trying to put distance between you and them, and reloading and switching between the chainsaw to get some ammo, and the glory kills to get some health, and then of course you have the little fire thing to get some armor. It's just like you're going back and forth, so you can kind of. It's so good. It's exactly what the main love, or the main thing that I loved about 2016's Doom. They did not lose that at all. It's in there. It's in there exactly the way it was, and maybe even a little bit better. Um, what do you think, sir?
I think I think it's a little bit better what it brings to what it brings to some of the additions I could have easily done without, like at some point you just mentioned you have that fire, the flamethrower,
The flamethrower.
yeah, that shoulder mounted flamethrower, which is like, okay, that's cool because hello, it's a friggin' flamethrower, how awesome is that? But like I've almost never used it because I forget that I have it. Because I'm thinking, oh, I'm playing Doom. This is the Doom 2016, and now I have a little bit of platforming. Some of it could get a little annoying. I'm
Oh,
not gonna
a
lie,
lot of it can get annoying.
or because you platforming on first person, it's awful. Games should not have that. That said, this doesn't do it as bad, but it's not
Actually, I would argue
great
that this
either.
does it actually really, really well, considering it doesn't
No?
feel, yeah, especially when you have the dash, the double
Yeah,
dash.
yeah, that's cool. That's
That's
fun.
significantly. I mean, those are little things where you're like, okay, I kind of understand why they had the double dash, because you're introducing the platforming elements.
Yeah,
It just helps with both, right? Because you have the double jump plus a double dash. That
yeah,
you should be able to correct a poor 3D jump
yeah,
essentially
yeah, yeah.
with one of those things. And then on top of that, when he's on the wall, kind of that kind of wall climbing, It's fast. It feels good for what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, you're not holding on like Nathan Drake or anything like that. You're actually like very nimble when you're
Hmm.
climbing walls, and the action could get really intense, like you just mentioned. Um, so I started playing this game on I chose Hurt Me Plenty, which is supposed to be like the hard mode, I guess. You know,
Hurtling Plane is the
and,
normal one, the where it starts at.
oh, Hurt Me Plenty. No, well, that Ultra Violence. Then I'm sorry.
Ultraviolet, yeah, yeah.
That's the next one. Okay, good. So I started playing on Ultra Violent because I figured because it described, oh, if you've had experience with with first person shooters, and I'm like, well, I have experience with first person shooters. I played 2016. Let's go at let's go at this level. I should be good at this level, dude. From the beginning, you get. I mean, it's hard mode. It's undoubtedly hard mode. Now, it is not unfair hard mode. It is. It could get frustrating, sometimes. Yes, I find myself dying, but not that often that I will be frustrated. The thing that I'm noticing is that it's that kind of hard where the game at the beginning is it's hard, but as you're progressing and as you're making your character stronger and stronger, you know, you're kind of like evening out that difference to where now, okay, now it's proper challenge. Now it's proper challenging. Like I discovered a secret place. Like the game has this different secret areas, and you go into this one and you have to do like a time thing, right? You have to kill, a certain amount of monsters. And he said, okay, this is very intense. And I'm thinking, like at first I skipped it. I was like, nope, I'm not even gonna try it because I don't want to get frustrated. I'm already playing on hard. I just want to explore everything else and beat it. And I don't have to do everything. But then the game does this really cool thing, and I really appreciate the fact that they brought this, that they made this, which is before you're about to finish the level, it gives you the option to fast travel, and that is in the event that you want to go back on the level and collect stuff that
Hmm.
you might have
Things that you
missed.
missed. Hmm.
Yeah. It gives you that option. You don't get stuck and then be like, oh shit, I already missed this part. I'm not even gonna be able to get this item or whatever unless I replay the stage, which you can, and you can play with cheats that you find along the way, also, and it doesn't hamper your progress or anything like that. At least the second playthrough of the same mission, I mean. But like, I don't want to go through that. The levels are huge and vast enough already to have to replay, have to replay the game again. So I appreciate the fact that it gives you that option of going back. So I went back on it, and yeah, let me tell you, it was an intense battle because you're constantly having to manage. Not only your this is not you're not just shooting. If you just play this to shoot monsters and not pay attention to managing your ammo and managing your health, by doing one or or either a glory kill or a chainsaw, to get the necessary item, you will die.
Okay,
You
I
will
really
be
want to play
able
this
to-
game.
Yeah, it is. All right, you
I,
know what? Let's stop recording. That's it. Let's just go directly to it.
I'm gonna.
let me go get a second monitor, plug that bitch in, and just play it while I listen to you guys talk.
Oh, no, no, no,
For
no! You gotta play this game with headphones.
for me, I gotta say I did the same thing. I went ultra violence, and I started to get a little frustrated, and I was like, "This doesn't feel like it felt for Doom, 2016." So I was like, "Ugh," and then probably somewhere about, I don't know, probably a good 3-4 hours in is when I was like, "Okay, I'm taking it back to Hurt Me Plenty." And believe it or not, Hurt Me Plenty is still not, it still has
Oh,
that
it's
challenge, but it's still, it's that one where you feel like you're just skimming by. And with the ultra violence, dude, it was like, man, I mean, and I got, you got into some scraps, and I was able to get out a lot of them, but it was just like, okay, this just doesn't feel like it felt before. And I remember playing 2016. I think it was on the regular normal, whatever it came in, and that's the one I took it in. But um, What I don't really like is all the options that there are now. You have your blood count bar, you have your weapon points, you have this. There's a lot of stuff that takes me back to the menu. I'm like, man, they were so adamant about keeping this type of thing out of the original 2016, and this time they went, here's this option, you could do this, here you can, this is another upgrade tree, here this is something else you can do. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I'm like, and don't get me wrong, I don't think it's in any way bad. I'm not saying it's in any way bad. It's just a bit jarring, and it happens frequently, right? I'm assuming once you know all the trees, it's not going to keep saying, hey,
That's
here's
that's
something
what I'm
new.
thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. um,
I'm thinking it's just because we're playing the beginning part of it and we're constantly being, interrupted with oh, here's a tutorial to use this part of the menu, and you're like, oh, I just want to kill monsters.
yeah, I
And it can
know.
get annoying. But let's remember, Doom 2016 also it didn't have this a crazy amount of options for menu, but it also had its share amount of menus. It had your weapons with weapons modifications, and it had the your Doom guy, the modifiers that you could actually
Yeah, but that was
that,
it. That
but
was
that
it.
was it.
And within the first, yeah, within the first hour, you knew what those were. Here,
Yeah.
I was still 4 hours in and going, I'm still learning a new thing that I'm like, oh my god, this is something else. And then the other thing is and this is again not a bad thing. This may be something exactly what everybody wants. There is more scripted, scenes and stuff like that wasn't in, like, the whole thing
Yeah.
about having a storyline. Hey, you need to do this, you do this, and he kind of
Yeah.
avoided all that, and now he's like, you know what, I guess I need to be that hero. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
okay,
I
I guess
I
so.
agree. That part, and now, if you notice, one of the things that we love about Doom 2016 was the fact that the game makes you think that it's gonna start like that with the guy giving you instructions on what to do, and he just grabbed that monitor that's supposed to be giving you the instructions, and they just throw it to the side, and it's like, nope, this is not. You can tell this is not a game about that. Well, for some reason, they felt compelling to shoehorning this into that type of game, almost where you
It
have
almost feels like
the
God of War, which again,
yeah,
not a bad thing. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
well,
Not in essence,
it,
not a bad thing, right? It's
right,
just
right.
not something I expected in Doom.
It's not something I want from Doom exactly. Doom, like I don't need that. There is, like on Doom 2016, yes, there was some lore here and there, but it was entirely optional because the things that were there were so like wacky and hilarious and like out of the realm of, okay, this is not a story. This is just something to hilariously say like, oh my god, look what this is describing. This is crazy. Uh, that it was fun. This one is not doing that. This one is trying to do. I almost want to say the Destiny thing where it wants to give you like an explanation of. Well, funny to mention because Destiny didn't start like that either. But now that they're overcorrecting, but it kind of wants to place who your character is and why is it that he is like that. And now I feel like I know too much about the Doom guy to where it's like, oh man, you used to be cool, but now you're
No,
just
no,
another
I
man.
think, yeah, I think
It,
he's still cool, but I do agree
uh,
that
I see that, well, that part see let me put it this way. There is a part where you see him acting a little bit like completely not expect the way that a Doom guy will do because the Doom guy he is the god. He is the motherfucker. He's gonna destroy things. He's not taking the knee for anybody. And over here they have to explain like, oh, and the gods and the creation and this and that.
yeah,
It's like, oh,
God of War. I'm telling you,
I I don't
it threw
need.
in some God of War in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But overall,
But
it's
still, yeah,
still,
still an awesome game. Yeah,
still, yeah.
these
Now
are
I'm amazed.
these are these are the nitpickiest of nitpicks. You know
No,
what I mean? It's
I
just,
think they're fair. I think they're fair nitpick. I think. I mean, because the game will have to be like, if it continues this level of awesomeness throughout, then
then it
that's
won't
when
matter.
I'll
That's what
say,
I'm saying. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Then it will matter. But if it slows down a little bit because he tried to give you even more crap of that, or if the ending try to be too like, I don't know, there there is a space here for this game could fall into an 8. which is still a good place to be, but it's not the place you want Doom to be. You want Doom to be a solid 10, a 9 at best. But
I wouldn't
At
yeah,
want to
worst.
take more part in this conversation.
Okay, I think we've
I,
spoiled enough
I know.
for for poor Chaos. But all I can say, Chaos, I can't wait for you to even turn it on. The moment you
Oh,
turn
I
it
am
on, you
definitely
start hearing,
gonna jump
"Oh,
on this.
funny thing happened," and I just have to mention this, and we can move on to the next segment. But it's hilarious, hilarious. I turn on the game. I don't know if this happened to you as well, Dream Twister, but apparently it didn't happen to just me. It happened to many people. I turn on the game, and of
Mm.
course, Bethesda needing to be Bethesda, they want you to join on their Bethesda net, BattleNet, whatever.
And it's
That shit
down.
failed.
Of
It
course it was
failed.
gonna. Of course it was gonna.
I
You
was
could not log in. Of course it happened. So it did
oh,
happen. It
dude.
did happen to me. Luckily, it because it's already have. I guess I already have my Bethesda account tied to Steam, to where
Hmm.
I didn't have to like register or any of that crap. It just already picked up. Oh, you're doing Twister. Duh. You go in and then it says Bethesda servers down. I was like, oh, okay, well, of course it's down. But at least you
Exactly.
don't. At least it doesn't take you out of the game. You can still play. You just don't get like you pre-order. Like I was able to, because I logged back out, and then went back in, and the second time it logged me in, and it loads me, and it recognized that I pre-ordered, so it started throwing all this. It starts throwing all this what you call it?
I don't know.
The
I
pre-order
didn't. I
thing.
didn't actually log in. Like
Oh,
I
if
see.
if
It.
you log in,
Yeah.
it's gonna start throwing you crap. It's like, oh, and now you have the soul and soul skin, and now you have the this and this, and
Oh,
yeah,
okay. That was today. I did see that today when I went in
yeah.
today. But yeah, I didn't make it in, and luckily it didn't stop me from playing. If it had stopped me from playing, dude,
Oh,
I would have been really
that would
pissed
have
off.
been. You would have literally experienced Error 53 when Diablo 3 came out.
Mm.
That level of like hell that people got so pissed off and posted on YouTube that it actually made a lot of YouTubers that day.
Yeah,
you know,
it did.
it was
I
crazy.
know of
I
it.
have,
I never experienced it, but yeah.
I have a question for Chaos. So, Mr. Reaper,
Yes,
have
sir.
you finished the Doom 2016?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, good.
Nice.
I just want to make sure. All right, nice. We may proceed with the operation.
All right, all right, guys, and that is all that we have been doing.
Are there no trailers? Do we don't have any trailers? Nothing?
No movies are coming out.
Holy shit. That's right.
And we're back, guys.
And yes, we are back, guys, and it is time for our useless news that you can use. As you just heard, there are no trailers of the. There's a few trailers, but nothing major, and nothing that that merits the trailer of the week slot. And
If
to
if
be
you want to
fair, there's
watch
not a lot
movies,
of news either.
yeah, true,
Honestly,
exactly.
yeah, I scrambled
Yeah.
through a bunch of them and everything. Like, nope, 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 nope. That looks
Yeah,
kind of like nope.
nice. Mr. Santos, I think you have probably one of the bigger ones to kind of discuss for the week.
I know this is this one is big in the fact that it is disgusting, and of course we're talking about GameStop over here
Hell surprise.
yeah. GameStop says it is an essential retail service and should stay open during the pandemic. I don't know if they have received the memo, but there is a pandemic going on. Our quarantines and a lot of people staying indoors because we want to make sure we try to protect people from contracting this this deadly disease that's been going on for and occupying the airways for the last few months. And evidently, there's certain stores that they have not been mandated yet to close, especially because they carry essential things like supermarkets, like pharmacies, like video game retail stores, for example, because video games are essential, evidently, according to GameStop.
Entertainment is essential. That's how I
Yeah,
got my Doom
yes.
Eternal.
Hey, and I love there was this. I kind of wish to remember where I heard this quote, but it was magnificent. GameStop says they are essential. They're an essential retail service, and this person said it perfectly when they said GameStop hasn't been essential in years.
I don't know. You see, I don't know if they know, but there's this thing called the internet, and you can buy games online without requiring to go to a store.
I know,
without
and then
even waiting.
without
You don't
even
Go.
even have to
waiting.
wait. Yeah.
I know. Go figure. You don't have to
Yeah.
drive. You don't have to get dressed. You can literally lay naked on your couch and buy any game you want.
Dude, and if you want to trade your games, Amazon gives you a shit ton of money, and they give it to you right away, like on that spot, for your games. And not to turn this into an Amazon commercial because I'm not trying to, but it is true. They gave me $25 for games that if I would have taken it to GameStop, they probably would have given me $3.
I would give you like, no, you're definitely giving him too much credit. We're giving you
Yeah,
somewhere like
yeah, yeah.
185.
Yeah. Also, Amazon credit, mind you, it's Amazon credit, but I'm okay because I buy everything from Amazon because it's the internet. So the retail tells store managers to keep stores open even in the face of a law enforcement. GameStop is arguing that it sells essential products and should remain open in the face of government orders to close businesses like retail stores, restaurants, and bars in the face of the coronavirus pandemic, according to an email sent to employees on Thursday. According to three sources, the company sent out a missive to retail managers saying, and this is a quote: "We believe that GameStop is classified as an essential retail and therefore is able to remain open at this time." End quote. The message from GameStop argues that the retailer carries goods that, quote, enable and enhance our customers' experience in working from home. Shit, man. I mean, Jesus Christ. I can't even.
It just doesn't
Um,
make sense. It really. It. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no. No, you're right. You're right. It's just you have to interject because this
Just
is
this is. It sounds
it's
preposterous. It's
it
like
is
I get
ludicrous.
it. Yeah, I get it. It's just one thing I was telling my wife. I was like, it's good that we have the ability to be home. Like she works from home, I work from home. My son, because of school, he's being able to transition to school at home for college. We're blessed to have that opportunity. You know what I mean? And on top of that, I'm a gamer. My wife and I, we like movies, we like shows. There's I get that those are things you can have, but to stay open, I assume that's the angle they're coming from, right? That's the only thing I can think of. They're coming from that angle to say, well, we have stuff that they can use while they're at home. No, you kind of don't. Not anything you can stay home and get. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Unless you mean the hot topic shit that you have out in the aisles, which
Hmm.
nobody wants. You know what I mean? Not even people who normally go to GameStop want that.
Yeah.
So I, I gave. I've always given GameStop a little bit of benefit of the doubt. I get it. You're a company, you're a corporation. As a business, you do everything you can to continue your business, right? You don't sort of fold up everything because in the end, there's a lot of people who depend on you, right? Because you have employees and all this stuff, and I get that. But at the same time, this decision is literally on the level of Blizzard defending, China. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's
With the
it's
words of
basically it's basically it's just disgusting doesn't even really describe it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
to the point where I don't even want to see another store. I was like, that
yeah.
is, I can't even. There's a GameStop right here in the mall area, and I haven't gone there in years.
Uh,
But I can't even imagine somebody stuck at work, not able to take the time off because their company requires, and God knows who's even walking into that store. I
dude,
wonder how many people are walking into that store. You know what I mean?
it,
Because it's not essential.
Now,
yeah, but it gets exponentially worse than that because not only you exposing this employers to that don't need to be work. You don't need to be trading game. This is completely non-essential. If this shit was essential, then I would say then show it. Don't sell games or trade, or take tradings or anything like that. Just sell the fucking essentials and bring more of the fucking essentials and demonstrate that, oh, you're doing this for the better cause. But no, this company is so desperate because of its own obsolescence that now they are making their employees uh, try to become the spokespersons for the companies in the face of law enforcement, which is, dude, I was checking on this. It gets really bad because suddenly now you're liable for that shit. If you're a person that have done that have if you're a GameStop employee and you have confronted police comes in
Officials.
and say,
Hmm.
officials, and you're delivering this letter, you probably want to seek legal counsel now because
Yeah.
you don't know what you're fucking liable for, because this is not like for the probably not great amount that they are paying you, to at your work. You're putting a lot of liability and the liability of your employees for those decisions, and
well,
that is supremely dumb.
let me
It
tell you
is.
this: they're not going to get anything from any lawsuits from California because today,
Who?
on a letter leaked to Kotaku from GameStop, it says we are closing our stores in California.
There you go.
the
And it's probably because California don't fuck around.
the
No, they
they
don't.
closure the
they
closure will remain in effect until further notice as we obtain more information from the California governor's office. Now, the title of the headline says that they're closing it indefinitely, but that feels kind of like they're not going to open ever again. So I don't know why they said that, but
it probably says that we don't have a date where they're gonna open,
unless
but
they're going to use this opportunity to like close them down, like yeah, no, we're just shutting everything
yeah,
down.
which
Fuck this, we're out.
you know what? We got, dude, we got a ton of heavy hitters coming down, and I realize, there's some titles there that you just don't want to miss. You already probably placed your pre-order. I'm not gonna say cancel your pre-order. Don't, just get out of it. I'm not gonna say that because at the end of the day, like, we knew that this was a shitty company, but we know now how fucking evil they are. At the end of it all. So get your game, whatever, they're still open, or whatever you want to do is your prerogative. You probably should stay at home, or probably should consider getting it digital, but do what you need to do. I'm just saying, think about these things in the future. You have more options. GameStop has stopped being essential a really long fucking time ago. You don't need to be getting your games or your pre-orders or whatever from there anymore. This company, the only way that they could change, if they're ever gonna be, is with a strong, message. If they're probably gonna end up having to close more stores, or
No, yeah, I
I
was
don't
gonna
know,
say.
man.
I think it's too late. I think this. First off, I think a lot of businesses, and this is kind of a sad part of what's going to happen, but because of what's going on and the fact that a lot of businesses have to close, there's a lot of businesses that are not going to come back. Obviously, big companies, they're going to make it. They have the surplus, they have the capital, they have all the assets, they have a lot of stuff that can keep them going for a long time. Smaller companies are not going to make it. GameStop was already on the edge. And them closing down, they're probably not going to come back. Any of those
Mhm.
stores will most likely not come back.
Mhm.
And it's sad for the ones who are working there. But I think if I was an employee of theirs, I would look at this as okay. Obviously, this is it. You know what I mean? And
It's just the time
when
to be
everything comes,
moving on. Yeah.
yeah, it is time to be moving on because one, the decision that the company made, but two, they're on the verge of honestly what they were the one bump they were probably looking forward to was the next gen consoles,
Hmm.
and now even that is pushed out. It
It's
may
over
be
there.
pushed out as well. So they're not,
Yeah,
I don't think they're
they're
going
not
to
gonna live through
survive.
that. They're not gonna live through
Yeah,
that.
they're not going to survive. I honestly think GameStop will not survive this.
Hmm.
And so
So you're
uh,
saying that 2020 will mark the end of GameStop?
yeah, that's
If
my it's a
anything,
prediction. Yeah.
if we have brought something good, of this year so far, it'll probably be that. I want to be fair and give GameStop this. They released a statement, so I want to be fair and put it on the air. Uh, the statement, which came out a few hours after this original story from Colin Campbell from Polygon was released. The statement says, and I quote: "While GameStop is best known as a provider of gaming and home entertainment systems, we also offer a wider range of products and devices that are important to facilitate remote work, distance learning, and virtual connectivity. Uh, as millions of Americans face unprecedented challenges adapting to virtual learning, working, and interaction, there is a significant need for technology solutions, and we are one of many providers of these products that are remaining open at this time. School, businesses, and families are now suddenly dependent on being able to connect through technology. While there are many businesses and organizations far more critical than ours, you think, uh, we believe that we can have a positive impact during this very challenging time. Uh, the health and safety of our employees and customers is of utmost importance, and we have and will continue to take precautions consistent precautions consistent with the CDC guidelines. I'm sorry. We are we're complying with all state, county, city, and local ordinances, and we will continue to adjust to any future developments. And can I interest you on a subscription to Game Informer?
Listen, I just got a message from the live stream saying that Zibby is sending regards to Mad Dog and
Mm.
that he's dying to try your food.
Oh, oh,
My
yeah.
food.
I'm dying to make some more food for you guys.
Hey, I'm dying to eat it then. Danny said one last thing I want to say about this is that Danny Serrano on the group posted a video of someone that sneaked out onto a GameStop regional conference call,
Mhm.
and they have the conference call almost in I would think it's in its entirety because the video is like 40 minutes long. I started listening to it, and too, I was appalled. These people don't give a fuck. Somebody stop me, please.
Oh, wow.
I was just gonna pick it up for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. You were running out of breath.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't gonna like tag myself in. Like I
Like I
got you, bro.
said,
I got you.
yeah. It needs to be a longer fuck to show how much
Ha-
GameStop has not given.
right, right, right.
It's a long
Wow.
fuck.
Now I just want to say that I did through my only piece. I do have a tiny insignificant piece of news here on the side that's gonna be irrelevant by the time.
But
Irrelevant.
but must be shared.
Yeah. Is it about Warframe?
No,
No.
God, no.
Oh,
I'm,
that's messed up.
I'm joking. I'm
No,
joking.
it's actually about you guys' favorite platform, the Google Stadia.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
no, no, wait a minute, wait a minute. The Goose Stadium minute. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
They
We host.
for today and today only. That's why I said it's going to be insignificant.
So it already passed for whoever's listening to this.
Yeah, oh no, for sure. Like by the time you listen to it, it's already done.
Over. Yes.
But they're dropping the price of the Stadia for $30. The
For
Stadia
$30
Premier Edition,
or by $30.
From $129 to $99.
Oh, by $30 less. Oh shit! I freaked out for a second. I was like, "What?
You're not gonna run over and buy it."
No, I wouldn't. It still would be too expensive. But
for $30,
I would have said like, damn, like super bomba. Then if they're already that low,
no, just for today.
That's a fire sale. That will tell me that they're just out. That they're done. You know. Remember when they fire sell the Steam controller? Remember the Steam controller?
Yeah.
They were giving it for $5. So, and of course, it was because yeah, and that was because that controller was not great.
And I got a correction on my message from the live stream. By the way, it's it says his biggest fan in the world says hi and that he wants to eat some of his curry.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Zibby.
Yeah, it's still Zibby. It's just
nice.
He corrected me on my message.
I'm sorry, not see, just the biggest fan in the world. Cool. You know what? You gotta really cook for this fucking guy now because he put you up there.
He has. He's gonna be so disappointed.
I read it verbatim here, like word for word.
I actually haven't made a curry in a little bit, and I was going to the other day, and I don't know. I just chose something a little bit easier because they take a little bit, and then. I could be gaming.
Well, if we ever make plans for you to meet Zip, I'm sorry, man, but curry will have to be done.
Oh no, there's nothing wrong with that. I love me making some curries.
Yeah, I can see.
And by the way, we that has to happen. It's not if we ever. It's when it eventually does.
Oh,
exactly.
My bad.
That's a must. My sole piece that I want to share with you guys because I think it's important in our current situation. There are 4 really good ways that you can actually host a remote movie night with your friends.
I'm interested.
Yes, the first one is called Netflix Party, which. Obviously, it's self-explanatory. It only supports Netflix, obviously. Everyone needs to have their own accounts. And what you do is you go on to... It's a Google Chrome extension that you would be able to install. And through there, you'd be able to essentially host the party. But you all have to have... Everyone tuning in has to have the... you have to have Netflix. You can't not have Netflix. You can't share your Netflix, essentially.
So when are we going to watch a movie, guys?
It's got to happen.
I was going to ask if everybody had to be willing to be chilling.
Yeah.
Excuse you?
Everybody has to be willing to Netflix and chill.
So there's going to be one big pile of virtual orgy then?
First off, I never understood why that became a thing. Yeah.
Hello.
You don't know how that became a thing?
No, I know what it means. It just why did that suddenly become?
Sir, because Netflix.
This doesn't apply. This does not apply for us merry old folks. All right, this does not apply to us boomers or Gen Xers. That's why we're out of touch with this shit. Chaos will tell you about it because Chaos is a millennial.
I was gonna say thank you.
Yeah, not us. Netflix and chill was not designed for us Gen X's. So
fair enough. But if you don't want to just use Netflix, there's a couple other ones that you can use. One of them is called MetaStream, which is the most robust one available, and it's free. It does support Netflix, YouTube, Hulu, Crunchyroll, SoundCloud, Twitch, Reddit, and some Google programs. And yes, you do need to have an account with any of those streaming services if you're going to use it. It is another Chrome extension that you can use. And then probably the best one and the most robust one that actually you do have to pay for is called 27 TWOSEVIN, not the numbers,
Wow.
technical letters 27. It supports YouTube, Netflix, Amazon, HBO, Vimeo, Hulu, Disney Plus. So those are all. Again, you need to have the accounts, and it is also Google a Chrome extension. So
Okay, so I don't
yeah, I think
understand.
we're gonna host this. Oh, go ahead.
I don't understand what the big appeal is of this. So basically, like, what is it doing? Is it putting us like on a type of Mystery Science Theater 3000 kind of like overlay about over the movie that is playing, and then we're supposed to be making like wisecrack comments about what's happening?
We can actually talk while watching the film. Yes,
Which is exactly
the
what I want to do when I'm watching the fucking movie.
the fair enough. I don't want to do that. I will do it for a movie I've seen. You know, it's like I already seen this, so yeah. Like, hey, let's watch The Matrix. You know, why
Oh,
not?
there
Let's
you
just
go.
can all sit and watch The Matrix, and we don't have to worry about catching coronavirus from any one of us. So
All right. Okay.
You know what? I still think it's a cool idea though. Like, I'd be down to like
I do
sit down
too.
and watch a movie with you guys. I like, even if I haven't watched it, like I'll let you guys pick a movie that I haven't watched,
Ooh.
and I'll sit down and watch it with you guys. I'm down for that.
I don't even play with you guys because if I'm playing, I don't want to be interrupted. With
All right.
people talking. Imagine
Chaos.
watching a movie.
Chaos, we'll leave him out of it. We'll just do
Mad
us.
Dog, you pick
Clearly,
a movie and I'll watch it with you.
Fair
Done.
enough. Fair enough. You know what?
Clearly, he has issues with this.
No, I just want to understand, like, because I saw it like 20 times on the news. I was like, okay, well, obviously it needs to be something cool, right? Is it doing like the Mystery Science Theater thing? No, apparently it's just what we're doing right now, but the three of us just synchronize a movie together. It's like,
yeah.
that's not new. I can do this without the app. Wow, we can do this with Skype.
but
Not even over the
you
phone.
if
You
you
know
use
what's funny?
the
You could do it on the PlayStation with the chat party.
There you go.
Everybody hit it
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yes, you can.
well,
Yes, you can.
that's the difference. You don't have to hit X at the same time. One
Right.
person, whoever's hosting the party, hits X, and they all see
Only
it.
one person hits X.
I think people are blowing out of proportion. Like, oh, this is awesome. It's like, dude, you could have done this like without the coronavirus happening. Like,
True. No, that's very true. These existed before the coronavirus, but these are for introverts. They don't want to go out, they want to do it, but they want to watch a movie with their peeps. Okay.
Well,
there you go.
The program may be for the introverts, but the news is for the extroverts. I have no idea what the fuck to do at this time and day.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
We don't care.
Out.
We know what to do already. This is what we do every day. Which something that I wanted to point out how little my lifestyle has changed since this started. Right?
Me too.
Yeah.
Like the biggest thing, which is considerably big, is that my workplace shut down. But other than that, I'm doing the same thing I do every goddamn day. Avoid going out, avoid talking and handling people, and just being at home playing video games.
There you go. That sounds like a lot. That sounds like life to me.
Yeah, me too.
That sounds like
me too.
That sounds like the essentials.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if you need the essentials, there's a GameStop open right now.
You go to GameStop.
Exactly. For the sick people.
For this. Oh, wow. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's all we have for news. We'll be right back with our Hot Topic.
Hot Topic.
Starting the recording.
Because life is wonderful in quarantine. Because life doesn't change when you're a gamer in quarantine. Because who gives a shit about a virus when you're locked in your home? Except work. Hey, close to that's good.
Hey, we are back, guys. And it is time for our Hot Topic.
Hot Topic.
All right, guys. Our hot topic is plain and simple, guys. It's time to talk about next gen. The next gen, of course, that we're referring to is the Xbox Series X and, of course, the PlayStation 5. Both specs have been released this week, apparently. I was well aware of the PlayStation 5, not so much that the fact that Xbox did the same thing before PlayStation 5, mind you. But
Cannot
yeah,
believe it. Such is the you're completely meh towards anything Xbox related that you don't even realize when they release an info dump of such magnitude that I was posting things on the on the group and I didn't hear a word from you.
sir,
This is the next
the
generation.
moment you start putting specs, I'm just like, oh, he's talking about some fucking video card. No one cares about that shit.
It's the console. It's the consoles. Like if at this point you guys don't care about the consoles and
Oh,
what they
he's
can
talking about
do,
the new Microsoft Office. Who cares?
Exactly. Fucking Excel 2020. Okay, that's good.
well, buckle up because I have the spec for both machines, and we're gonna do a side by side on them also.
We're gonna do a line by line
A
comparison.
line by line, exactly.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I kid, guys. I kid.
yeah. That's a,
I
yeah.
don't kid because I really wasn't paying attention to it, but not that I wouldn't have had I known. but uh
This is
so
exciting.
this
These
is
are exciting times,
these
and you
are
guys are
exciting times, most
completely
definitely.
shitting over it
No,
because
no, no, I'm
I
not.
haven't
This
said
is this
anything
I'm
yet.
joking. Sir, you get pulled under the bus with me. I'm sorry. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
God
That's how that
damn.
works.
oh wow! All right. So where to begin? Oh, I'm sorry. You were saying something.
Hit me, Dream, with
No, I
all
was gonna
the
say, yeah, I
technological
was just gonna.
advances. Hit me.
All right. All right. All right. So this week we had not one but two reveals, and that is information that most of some of us already knew what was going on with Xbox with on the Xbox side of things. The few of us that care about it, evidently, but we still didn't have anything concrete on the PlayStation 5 camp other than the name and the fucking logo because that's all that Sony decided we were deemed worthy of having. But
That's all that matters. But whatever.
exactly, yeah. Just hey, we're not using Spider-Man logos. Here you go. Have a nice day. See you in June. Not even because we're not gonna be at E3. Oh, not even because now there's no E3. So this week actually was actually very important because we finally got concrete information on both consoles. We can actually this is not going to completely erase the speculation because these are specs that looks on the way they look on paper. They don't necessarily relate to how they end up performing. The cell processor, if you remember, was a very powerful processor compared to to the Xbox 361, and it was also hard as fuck to program and yada yada. So it's not all about obviously the power of the systems, but we know that some of you are interested in knowing maybe not necessarily the literal specs, but what they mean. And what we'll try to do with this hot topic is kind of explain, kind of dispel a little bit of
Rumors.
the rumors and all the speculations that are coming about when people are seeing this on paper because uh, a lot of people are suddenly concerned because they were expecting like, oh, Microsoft have released all the information since December. They've been saying the specs. We haven't heard anything from Sony. Oh, it's because Sony's gonna bring it back. Now they know what Xbox has. They're taking notes, and they're gonna come back and they're gonna do with like they did with the PlayStation 4, and they're gonna have a kick, a super kick. They're gonna kill it on specs and this and that. And then Sony releases the specs, and people are like, what? So anyway, just to make it a little bit digestible, we're gonna go over some of these
Right.
things.
And correct me if I'm wrong,
Uh,
but that's the point of this podcast to make all of that mumbo jumbo digestible, right?
Yes.
Like easier to understand because I
Yes.
honestly I don't pay attention to this kind of thing because I don't understand it. Like, yeah, I get it. More is better, but then like what does it mean in the end?
Yeah, yeah, because a lot of people there's obviously a lot of spec things, and people look at it. Well, the processor is a 3.5 on the PlayStation 5, but the Xbox One X means 3.8. That must mean the graphics are running at 12K, and and that
And
can't
this one has 25 teraflops.
and
The
this
other
one
one only has 15.
yes, yes. You were kind of close.
The fuck does that mean?
It was 10 and 12, but you were very close there.
Well, I was exaggerating on purpose.
All right, all right. So yes, the it is to no surprise that the of the systems, the Xbox Series X ended up edging out just a little bit on most of the specs, except for a couple of things in particular that are major and some people are forgetting, and we're going to go into that in a moment. But having a processor that is just a little bit faster than the PlayStation 5, and having a graphics GPU that's just a little bit faster also doesn't mean that the game this is not going to be the difference of the PlayStation 4
Hmm.
and the vanilla PlayStation 4 versus the vanilla Xbox. This is not going to be that same situation. It'll be unfair to think of it that way. And I want to dispel that because a lot of people think that that's going to be what's going to be happening. And what ended up happening this generation, uh, aside from the fact that Xbox already started in the wrong foot with the 3D, TV, you know, uh, uh,
Angle.
the
Marketing?
marketing at the beginning
Hmm.
is that it's not fair to compare to compare it that way because I've already forgot what I was doing with it. I'm sorry.
All the mumbo jumbo like tripped you over.
It's difficult. It's difficult to not put it.
Hey, I honestly don't blame you. Other than like more is better, I don't understand any of it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my concern is that the people that I've spoken to are thinking that it's going to be that situation. It's going to be a situation of. So that means that Xbox is going to be more powerful machine. So therefore, developers are now going to choose the machine that is more powerful, just like they did with PlayStation 4. And no, that's not exactly what happened with PlayStation 4. The reason why most developers went with the PlayStation 4 architecture was because A is the one that ended up selling the most, and B because their message was not TV at the beginning. Their message was clear. It was, this is a machine for games. This is a machine for gamers. These specs are to facilitate developer creating games, not an
Hmm.
architecture like Xboxes where it was like, oh yeah, this box does everything. It does media, it does games, it does Kinect for some fucking unknown reason. Like so that's not the situation we're gonna have, on it. If
Hey, quick
anything,
side note: did
uh-huh.
that die? Did the Kinect finally die?
Yeah, oh yeah, that at the
Oh
moment,
yes, that
that what's his name, the guy from Xbox right now, the
Phil
equivalent of
Spencer.
Xbox, Jesus, yes, Phil Spencer took over. That was one of the first things that he killed. It was like TV, nope, Kinect, get the fuck out. We're not doing that. We're just
I
solely
haven't heard
dedicated to games.
any of it since then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, me either.
And he has been responsible for a lot of good decisions, like the Game Pass, for example. Uh, the problem is that by then Xbox name was so in the mud, and right now they're still kind of like trying to salvage that reputation. So that's why they're trying to start on the right foot. You notice that information has been very transparent from the get go. We already
From the
know,
beginning. Yep.
yeah, we already know what the system looked like with a surprise reveal in December that no one was expecting. We already know what it's what it's called, which is just Xbox, but unfortunately the market is already messed up with the Series X. So now everybody thinks it's like that's the whole name of the system. On that particular system, it is. Um, but for the most part, it has been that the message has been as transparent as as possible. It has been out there. So we finally get the PlayStation 5, and we get it on a reveal that a lot of people were looking for. That a lot of
that
people
nobody
tuned in,
understood.
but unfortunately, it was not. It was a good. It was a good information to be out. Uh,
Honestly, it gave the information that you got from the Xbox. You know what I mean? It just did it more matter of fact. More, it wasn't not that the Xbox. I haven't seen the Xbox real, but I don't think they showed off games or anything with it. But that's what it was. Just lacking. It
well,
was. It was literally 55 minutes, and in the 55 minutes, yeah, you got nothing as for a gamer. You really got nothing that you weren't already kind of expecting.
it was not the
Um,
this was not the console reveal, but yet
it
they called
wasn't.
it.
It wasn't. Yeah,
Yeah, but they called it the road to PlayStation 5. So they got
correct.
everybody excited about it. Like I was thinking, we were finally going to see a box, and of course it makes sense because why? Because already Xbox had, Microsoft had already unveiled their box. So and it wasn't that we got everything that we sort of already knew was gonna be the case because we read it on that Wire article from a while back.
From a while back. Yeah,
But except that instead of getting everything that we hoped to get, what we got was a little bit worse than not. It was not as good. It was at one point it was not as good as the Wire article led it to believe. Which was uh, you pair that aside with the fact that everybody was waiting for an actual reveal. Of course, it disappointed a lot of people. But the PlayStation 5, it's a powerful fucking system. When you put it in perspective, these consoles, uh, they're both relatively powerful. They're both capable of delivering, the a very similar experience.
experience.
Think of it like the PlayStation, like the Xbox One X is doing now with the versus the PlayStation 4 Pro. They're both uh, they're both obscenely powerful machines or powerful machines for their era now, I guess. And yes, the Xbox One X has a little bit of an advantage in some of the graphical capabilities and this and that, but it's not that much, and it really doesn't matter at the end of it all because you can almost get the same level of performance on a PS4 Pro, just with
Hmm.
some little bit of things reduced. you
Okay,
know
so let me ask you this: what does matter?
the part that I feel is important of these two consoles, that the thing that differentiates them massively, and a lot of people, I don't think they realize, is the speed of the speed of their SSD solutions. So their
Okay.
storage solutions, uh, they both have agreed that it's going with a SSD is the way. We're not gonna have more mechanical hard drives like the ones we have on our current consoles. It's gonna be a solid state drive.
Solid state.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The difference between them, however, is that while you can expect a level of performance that is equal to a level of performance on a PC for an SSD or an NVMe, which is to say, really fucking fast. It is fast. When I die on Doom, I almost reload almost instantaneously. I don't have to wait for a loading screen. It just says press F or press space to continue, whatever. Um, the on PlayStation 5, the speed is almost double that. It is near instantaneous. It is like an unprecedented, like not even on PCs has there been this level of speed yet. And there
You
probably
serious?
won't be. Yes, and this is what a lot of people are failing to realize, because think of it this way. Think of the repercussions that this has for games. In games where you want to make sure that assets are loaded on, in time, that you have to go to another level. Think of fucking what's the game, that EA game that loaded every 5 minutes, Anthem.
Anthem.
Remember
It
those
loaded
loading
every
time water?
5 minutes. It
Yeah, yeah,
loaded
yeah,
every 30 seconds.
yeah,
Get it
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. So imagine being able to recreate a world like that, but there's absolutely no loading screen whatsoever in between. Everything is seamless because everything is streaming on the background. Everything's being pulled, from memory. On the background is insanely fast, almost double the performance of the Xbox One X. And
Okay,
and you
So
see
what
the
is that
how can
measured on?
huh?
let me ask you something? How can a console have that level of performance where a PC does not?
Because on PC you already have, let's say that they have a solution already that works. They have been that has to work with as many configurations as possible. With consoles, you can customize that uh, that 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 technology. You can customize it to just do it for one particular purpose. When you create an SSD for a computer, it's not just for games. It's for data. It's for databases. It's for like whatever you use the computer for. When you dedicate it to just uh, uh, handling
Games.
raw data for games, exactly, and the way they optimize that, they can optimize it for consoles, because they're all consoles at the end of the day end up being the same architecture, versus a PC where they have to accommodate for 100,000 different configurations or millions of configurations, and on top of that they got to make sure that it works with legacy devices and crap like that. With the next gen consoles, you don't have that. You don't have none. You have none of that overhead, so you can
You
actually.
have
So
one architecture and that's it.
Yeah, yeah, so it's
I don't-
easier to kind of like focus that that raw power. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that power. Yeah.
Yeah.
so this is clearly coming from an angle of I don't get it, right?
Uh-huh.
But I mean I get it, but I don't get it. So what of so what it sounds like is that the speed, the loading speed is unheard of.
Mm.
But what's the measurement? What is the thing that you use to
So,
see that particular
all right. So propose this. Let's say, for example,
What measures the
the
loading
question,
time?
the
yeah.
question should be, how does this affect gameplay, other than, oh, my game's just gonna load faster? Because that's what a
Hmm.
lot of people think. It's like, oh, so I die and I'm not gonna see a loading screen, or I go to the next page, or now I'm gonna see a loading screen.
Oh,
Fantastic, but so
let me
what?
clarify something. Mad Dog's question comes from like in the future when he sees an info dump like this,
Mhm.
what part of it will tell him that this is what matters and this is what
Well,
this doesn't?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you what, why it matters. Because if you just look at the specs and compare it side by side, you're not gonna fucking know.
Right.
Unless
Yeah,
you
I
know
know.
what,
That's what I'm saying.
unless
Yeah.
you know
I'm not
what.
asking. I'm not asking. Why. I'm asking which one of this bullet points of this table that you have here. Which one of these tells me that the loading times are going to be better?
Oh well, I don't know what table you're looking, but I was talking about
Oh,
expandable
it was
storage.
being theoretical.
I'm talking.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking on the expandable storage. So here is an actual, the way that it affects a game, that it has to do, that is more than just, oh my, I was able to get to the menu faster. All right.
Hmm.
Think of how games are designed. More often than not, games are designed in a certain way. You might not notice it because developers are very good at hiding these things. Some of them do very well, some of them not so much. Uh, where you kind of have to hide the fact that your game is loading in the background. Now, that could take, in the worst case scenario, that could take the form of a really long futuristic elevator that for some reason is a lot slower than the elevators that we have in real life today. You know,
That
and we,
you go from the first floor to the third floor, but it takes you like 2 minutes to get there. Like, wow, this
Exactly.
third floor is like
Yeah.
really far.
That is very, very noticeable. Sometimes is when you go into an area, you're running with your character into an area, and your character like just out of nowhere he just starts, walking, and you're like, I'm still pressing the run button. Why is he walking now? It's because it's because the game needs time to load the next scene. Also, especially on environments where you look at, it's supposed to be an indoor environment. Let's say you're in a office building. They try to portray an office building, and you notice that fuck. Whoever was the architecture of this office building should have been fired if it was a real life architecture, because the layout of this office makes no sense. It's just a series of labyrinths to get to, from one place to another. Who designed this? But of course, in our gaming mentalities, we have been already so accustomed to that we don't see it. So now the developers don't have to spend so much time trying to hide their loading times. They just don't have to worry about them, because they can design worlds that look more fluent,
They
more
can
realistic, more,
gotcha.
yeah,
This
rather
is like
than,
when they squeeze in through like a tiny corridor, like going sideways and shit. They're going really
yes,
slow.
yes.
Yeah,
Remember that
yeah,
happened in
yeah.
Yeah,
Tomb Raider a lot. It
That
happened.
happens in a lot of games.
Yes, yes, yeah. When they're trying to hide, yeah, yes.
Tomb Raider or The
That,
Last of Us. Whenever where he would lift Ellie up.
yes.
Yeah, all those. Yeah, they're hiding
And
load times. I
anywhere where
got
they
you.
squeezed in through that, I actually saw a video about that recently. That's one of the ways they hide loading times. And it's, you know what's
Mm-hmm.
funny? Up until when I saw that video, I hadn't even noticed. I just thought like this is just something they do, some pretty cool thing they do, like whatever.
Yeah, it's that. Another thing is like you get on, let's say you're playing Grand Theft Auto, and you're in a car, and then from a car you get out of the car, you hijack a jet, and you go in the jet throughout the city, but somehow your jet is almost the same speed of the fastest car on the game. Like, where's the logic in that? A jet should be able to jet, you know? So it's because of that. It's because the game doesn't have the time to load its assets and its information fast enough. So they need to try to hide it, in some way. So obviously, having the speed, like being able to count with that speed, means that yes, maybe the Xbox Series X will have, games that they might look a little bit better. They might actually run a little bit, smoother. Let's just say theoretically, uh, but it's still gonna be forced to the same tropes of older games, because even though its loading times are faster, they can't count with the speed that they can count on PlayStation 4. So all the PlayStation 4 first party games are gonna, obviously their worlds are gonna be more immersive, are gonna be more realistic. They're gonna be there's a little bit more impressiveness in that than in just showing me how Gears of War looks now with ray tracing, for example, which is what the Xbox presentation did. On the Xbox presentation, they showed a lot of cool technology. If I might be allowed to mention
Mhm.
a few that I really like, um,
Yeah,
the ray
of course.
tracing.
Shit.
The ray tracing package, it's amazing. They didn't show it,
Ooh, I know that one. I know what ray tracing is.
and you know what it does, right? Where it reflects,
Yeah, yeah,
it
I know
makes
what it
light
is.
look.
Yes, I know something.
Yeah, yeah. So it makes light look natural. It doesn't have to be artificially made just for the section that you're seeing. So obviously things look very realistic, or that's the idea, right? Obviously it depends on the style of the game, whatever. But the idea is with ray tracing, it looks more like normal light acts. So their implementation looked really cool. Unfortunately, the only thing that they showed was Minecraft on it, because they're not showing new games on it just yet. Neither of the consoles are showing new games. But we saw Minecraft running with it, and it looks very promising. And also this thing of being able to put multiple games on suspended status, which Xbox has been horrible at doing. Even this generation, this generation, they were never able to get it right. With PlayStation 4, you can just suspend a game and put the console to sleep. You will wake up the console and you will go into the game and you'll be able to go in at where you left off. As long as the game was not dependent on networking or stuff like that.
So
Uh,
this is not a game as service.
as long as it's not a game service, exactly. Now on Xbox, it feels like they tried to do that, yes, but more often than not, it will fail and it will erase your your progress. So it was not reliable.
It'll close down the application. Really?
It'll crash. It'll crash. It was never able
Wow.
to recover from sleep as well as the PlayStation 4
Damn.
did.
I didn't know that.
So I
That's
I
what happens
I
when you
used
don't
to
buy
own
an
a place.
Xbox.
I used to own a PlayStation, and it was not reliable, so I never used it. So they have to make sure that this works now because they're trying what they're trying to do is being able to suspend up to a certain amount of games. I want to say it's probably six, or maybe they just show six. So I don't know if there's a cap on it. I will imagine that there is. Suspend it in memory and jump straight into the next game. And from there go back to the next to a different game, and then you can go back to the first game that you were and pick up right where you left off. And a lot of people think like, oh, big deal, but no, it is actually a big deal. It's actually a time server, and it is very useful uh for people that play
Wait.
multiple games at
I'm
the same
sorry.
time.
Let me stop you right there. So you're saying that I'll be able to suspend one game. Let's say let's use current games for the sake of using them.
Mm,
I'm playing Doom Eternal. Somebody invites me to play Apex. I can
mm.
suspend this, go play Apex, stop playing Apex, and go back to Doom and
Yep.
keep going where I left off.
Yep, that's exactly
Holy
what it means.
shit!
That's exactly what it means. And you can do that with multiple games at the same time. So if
Oh
somebody
my
invites you
god!
to play the Division
Life
or
services games may be a little different though.
right, true,
Right,
true.
right.
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just the concept. But I wanted to get right.
yeah,
yeah.
the
Hmm.
concept. You could be playing Ori and the whatever is the name of the title, and suspend it and go. As a matter of fact, that is the demonstration
Wisp
they did.
of the Willows, my friend.
Yes,
Just
that
saying.
one.
Oh,
Uh,
if you want to use a game as service that actually you can suspend on PlayStation and then carry on like nothing, is I know. Don't jump at me, but it's Warframe.
Warframe.
oh, I heard
Yeah,
that. I heard that. Warframe, you can.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
You
yeah,
can you go back and it'll give you all of the updates of everything that happened while you were gone,
yeah,
like all the pop-ups, like this alert or this finish, and it'll tell you everything. And then here you go, keep carry on. You're back. You're connected.
yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
So things like that. I also like that the well, actually, I started liking this idea and I ended up disliking it on the Xbox side of things, and that was the 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 storage, the mobile storage devices, the I want to call them memory cards because
The externals.
they resemble memory cards, and that's basically almost what it is. It's an NVMe drive, which is basically a solid state drive that you can just plug, and it's little. It's like a memory card, actually, like a PlayStation 2 memory card, but it's weighty, and you can just plug it, or you can take it out and take it to a friend's, and that part was cool until I remember the last time that Microsoft handled proprietary extension storage extensions. They handle it horribly, which was the place which was the Xbox 360, where the external hard drives were always madly expensive. Because they were because they were a normal hard drive but enclosed in this weird device. And what people were doing was they were buying like much more powerful and much more higher capacity drives, and just changing changing the hard drive that was on that external device, and using that instead. Because a hard drive will cost you, even at the end of the generation, it'll still cost you like $120 to expand to like 120 gigabytes or something like that, if I remember correctly. It was ridiculously expensive, and Microsoft controlled that price. It was almost as bad as you remember the memory cards for the PSP?
Hmm.
It was almost that bad as that. When
Oh,
Sony was gouging almost in the price
wait,
of
no,
it.
not PSP. It was the Vita.
Oh, it was the Vita. It was the Vita.
The Vita, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it was one of the two mini consoles. Yeah, yeah, it was the Vita. Yeah, so Viva, Vita memory cards. I think it was for
Yeah.
PSP
The
also. But
poor, poor console.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's a shame. Honestly, that was this is off topic, but it was one of the reasons why it failed. Go ahead.
yeah, 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 yeah. Stuff, stuff like that. Stuff like that is the thing that gets me worried. A little bit, a little bit.
A
But
little bit, yeah.
yeah,
Some
yeah,
concern. Mhm.
yeah, 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 yeah. But so that's Xbox. On PS5, we already mentioned the speed of their hard drives are unbelievable. It is something unprecedented, even by PC standards. There is nothing right now that is that is as fast that is normally commercially available. Because there probably could be something that is faster, but it's being used by Google
Military
maybe
or something, yeah.
or military, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
you know but also they have another cool thing, which is 3D audio, which we discussed about how amazing, what a difference the audio mechanics work and are for games like Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice,
Hmm.
where the audio is it's kind of amazing. They had, I think they were I was looking at reports and they were talking about being able to detect the shape of your ear canal or some shit like that. I don't know if that rumors are
Wow.
true. I don't know if those rumors are true, but there's a heavy emphasis. Mark Cerny's uh, discussion was it put a heavy emphasis on definitely audio is an important thing for us, and we want to make sure that we get this right and want to make sure that it works regardless of how high end or low end your speakers are, which I think is
Not for nothing, but I feel if Mark Cerny would just transition over to viral engineering, we'd have the cure for the coronavirus. I'm just saying. If he would just switch over, we'd be fine.
he will
Oh my
definitely
I
know
god.
how.
realize I was yeah. He's mad. He's mad. From what I'm hearing and from what I remember seeing in the actual thing. I'm like, this guy is one accident away from becoming a supervillain.
Yeah. And
You
he
know what
has
I'm
the
saying?
look too. He definitely has the look too. And maybe he is a
Yes,
super villain. We just
he's
don't know. He
genius.
looks.
He may be.
He's like a Lex Luthor type of. I don't know. He's a really really smart guy. And I watched that thing in its entirety. And and yes, obviously, if coming from the look of someone that was expecting to see at the very least what he did with the PlayStation 4. At least with the PlayStation 4, everybody says he was the same. Well, with the PlayStation 4, we saw at least knack. you know, we kind of saw what the prowess of the system was, and by its
That's
time,
true.
you laugh now, but it was kind of amazing by that time compared to what was
The
available.
particle effects. Yeah,
Yes,
I remember the particle
yes,
effects. Yeah.
that game was particle effect palooza. And and on this one, it just I
Oh my
realize it's
god.
a GDC thing, but it almost feels retaliatory to the announcement of the Xbox did. Xbox did it with Digital Foundry. They partnered with Digital Foundry, and they let the guys say screenshot. They actually not take screenshots. Sorry, they actually not just that. I mean, they actually literally let the guys take the machine apart. Like they were showing the insides of it. They were taking it apart, and the engineering that you see on that, the work that you see on that console is
Mhm.
breathtaking. It is beautiful. It is
This
very
is
well
on
done
the Xbox,
on the
right? The
Xbox
series.
Series X. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you see that the way that it comes out, you will think that like Apple did this thing, or something. It looks very nice, but at the very end of the day, that doesn't matter, because we're gonna want to know how the games are, and it's promising to hear all the specs, and it's good to see that that they're actually giving some sort of competition this time, possibly, hopefully, to Sony, because we never want to see Sony without a competition, because that's when they get lazy and evil. Just like we never want to give no competition to Microsoft, because that's when they really get TV. You know,
Hmm.
so the other thing that I wanted to mention was the fact that I think for the first time we can say that this console, usually console generations, whenever the specs are shown, they're always run behind the current PC setups. They're always,
Hmm.
and I mean, and yes, that sounds like it should be an obvious thing, but no, I mean, like, kind of substantially so. The reason why consoles is still work very well is because, again, they do a lot with not so much power, because they're focusing everything towards one architecture. Well, I feel like this generation is the first time that we can see consoles that are literal rivals to the PC, the PC elitists that are there, you know, uh, uh, that that are always bragging about having the highest frame rates and the fastest speeds and that. And yeah, they're not losing that. I'm not saying that suddenly they don't have that, but this consoles are very close to parity with what's available right now. And if you take into consideration the fact that you can focus again all that creative power towards just one architecture, you can see you can possibly see games on this generation that will be nearly indistinguishable from like high-end PC games, until
Hmm.
until PCs catch up on the next two generations up front or something like that. But that's something else. That's brute force. With PCs always brute force it, because PCs are not just gaming machines. There's different. There's the everything machine. We do everything with
Hmm.
PCs. But with consoles, we're just meant to play games. And I love the fact that of on both reviews, they have not wasted time talking about multimedia. We making a movie of this, or TV, or they haven't wasted time with that bullshit. We know it's gonna run Netflix. We're probably gonna have it,
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
but
okay
who
that it
cares?
has it, but
Everything has it, and
yeah,
everyone does it now.
know your audience.
Your
Know
shitty
your audience
phone does Netflix now. All right, so your
better than the console does.
yes, yes, true that. So I don't know. I wanted to talk about this because it definitely excites me. I'm not. I don't root for a particular camp. I'm not like that. The only reason why I like to see when Microsoft does well is because I want Sony to do well, and vice versa. You guys know that I owned an Xbox until a certain amount of time, and then I ended up selling it when I saw that there was really nothing coming up on the horizon. I'm hoping that this generation, it's different for them. But I'm not worried about the specs of either one of these machines, because they're both very capable. They're both
Hmm.
very, very, very powerful. I mean, if you want to talk about, well, Microsoft has a 1 terabyte SSD, and why PlayStation 5 only has 825. Well, you have to remember, yeah, 825, but of super mega speed. You know what I mean?
They
Uh,
only need 120, 825.
yeah. This is something that could actually
That's
literally
crazy.
shape and change how games are made. And we have to give that credit. We can't just be mad at Sony because they had like a marketing blunder. Because that's at the end of the day what it ended up being. It was not planned. It was just a marketing blunder. But this is not, like I said at the beginning. This is not their TV moment.
No, no, it's nothing compared to that. Nothing at all. It's just like I said, expectations. They set the wrong expectations for what this was, and then they didn't even show the box. I mean, I still blame it for that. I get that this is exactly mirroring what happened in 2013 when they revealed the PlayStation 4 still didn't show off the box. So it's almost exactly like that. But at the same time, it's like, all right, you didn't show off the box. And at that point, right, because it was February 2013, they had the press conference. And again, it was all specs. And then in May, that's when Xbox did theirs, and it was all very TV, and of course they also showed the box.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't want to show the box first. Well, now Series X is already out there. So what are we waiting for? Why are we still holding off to see what the box looks like? Unless, this is just my own personal theory, unless the initial intention was to make it look like those boxes that we have seen already of the PlayStation 5, and maybe, you know, the initial reaction is like, ooh, that doesn't look very good, and now they're, in the process of some sort of redesign. Whatever the case may be,
that makes sense.
that's my theory. I'm just looking at it like there's no reason to hold. They held back the first time and let Microsoft reveal their box, and then they revealed the PlayStation 4. This time, Series X was the first one to reveal. So again, what are we waiting for? There is no E3, so it's not like there's another event. So what's the deal? Unless, like I said, this is just my own personal conspiracy theory, like I said, but unless there's some sort of redesign that's happening. Although I saw a very cool looking PlayStation 5 design that kind of used that particular look that everybody's seen, and even though it still looks odd, it still kind of looked nice. You know what I mean? In the end, it just needs to run the game.
Yeah.
But,
At the end, I want a box that doesn't scream, "I'm a toy. I'm a game.
I agree.
I'm a gaming console, yo. So I'm just gonna have like sharp edges and like crazy." I think the design of the PlayStation 4 was marvelous. Was wonderful. It was, and then they kind of like just did a sandwich with the PlayStation 4 Pro, but it's still a beautiful system. I
So
think
that's a good design. Yeah.
it's subdued. It's simple. Uh, I really really like the Xbox One X design.
The S. I know that the S looks really that white and black one.
Yeah, the S
it's a
too. Yeah,
beautiful design. Yeah.
that thing is gorgeous. See, I want a design that is just as simple as
that screams tech, not toy.
Yeah. The design of the Xbox One X, it does bring some concerns on space and all that, but I think, we can manage. I do like, and I understand the reason why they chose it to be that way, because of course they're running a lot of components that get really really hot, and they don't want to have another ring of death,
Dear Lord, no.
and or we don't want it to be the PlayStation 4 Pro jet engine, case that is. So they're making it to where this machines, and to be fair, that's also another thing that Sony's also making sure to tackle, and is system noise. They want to make sure from the get-go that these machines are quiet, because there was a lot of of concern with the noise of this generations. And I feel like Xbox placated it very well with the redesign, but it took a little redesign of the system, where they were using like vapor chambers and like next gen shit. Um, and the PS4, yes, they kind of made it quieter, but it's not. It's still not. I mean, my PlayStation 4 Pro is a fucking engine. When I press the map on God of War, I feel like I'm concerned about that if I'm shortening the life of the console, because it just runs so, like, I never heard it this loud. And that's a serious thing, because machines that run hot, those components get well, they get burned
damaged.
out. They get that.
Yeah, they get damaged. Yeah.
Another thing that we did not touch on it just yet is the backwards compatibility situation. So Xbox have gone on record, or Microsoft have gone on record, that
I just want to say that I'm still here.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm alive.
Did you
I'm
have
alive.
did you
No, not at all. That's why I'm just saying I'm still here.
Oh, okay. You're zoning out. I understand if you don't want, if you don't want to.
Oh, this has been very educational.
So backward compatibility. Microsoft have gone on record saying that they intend, every game that was playable on Xbox One X, except the Kinect titles, I would imagine, lol, to be backwards compatible with, on Xbox One X. That's that's awesome. That's great. That gives me peace of mind because that means that I don't have to worry about the obsolescence of my library. That means that at any point, I can just pick it up and play, and play, and I don't have to worry about porting issues because it's a similar architecture to where they will either run the game the way it was intended, or in most cases, like what they're saying is they're going to implement enhancement to it. Like I was reading that, some games are going to have some games that did not have HDR are going to have HDR implemented, for the people that have HDR capable screens. And that's massive. That's great. And to hear that it has backward compatibility with all generations of Xbox, it's great. That's really good news. On the PlayStation Cam, there was a very hard worry at first. This got later corrected, I feel, but at first they were saying, "Oh, it's gonna be compatible with almost 100, of the top games on the PlayStation." So 100 of the top play game, but not your top play games. They're gonna make a generalization, obviously, based on popularity of each game. And what if your niche title that you love, you can't play it because it's not part of that 100 at first at launch? Obviously, you have to be in a situation where you have to wait for months, if it ever happened, to get to where your game gets ported if you're interested in playing that game again. You probably won't
I
because
saw, yeah, I saw that the update, and the only thing I can say about that is I hope they, you know what I mean. I mean, it's a simple slip up where I can say,
mm,
well, what I was trying to say was the top games, 100 of the top games,
mm,
and it can simply be that was his intent. To suddenly come out later and go, oh no, it's close to it's over 4,000 PlayStation 4 titles.
mm.
So it's like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah,
why didn't
four
you just
thousand.
say that the first time?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
because I'm thinking
So
I'm thinking that he was just making the clarification at launch is going to be this amount, but later down the line, our intention is to have all the games, virtually all the games that came out on PlayStation 4 be compatible, which suggests to me that we're going to be on a wait line for some of our favorite games, or some of the games that we own. Kind of like what happened
mm,
on I think it were Xbox 360 titles. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kind of like it happened with the 360 titles with where they were getting
yeah, little by
ported
little.
every month, little by little. Yeah. The way that Microsoft is suggesting it, if it's true, is making it sound like, oh no, from the get go. I mean, this machine has a 360 inside and an Xbox One inside. You can play your game that you own already, on the spot. Well, that's great because that certainly then mitigates a little bit the fact that uh, we s- they have first party studios now, but we still don't see the fruits of it yet, and we won't see it for years to come. you
Mm,
know
okay.
so whether a Sony, they always have their first party their first party studios are constantly churning out amazing titles that we could already expect. We don't have that security with Xbox because a first party a first party title a bad PlayStation first party title could be the one with the zombies and the guy on the motorcycle, which wasn't terrible. You know, a bad
Yeah.
Xbox first generation title could be fucking Crackdown 3, which supposed to be the most amazing thing, and it is hot garbage shit. You know, it's like
Damn,
that.
that hurt.
It's like that. It's like that. Your first one, like it doesn't matter if you have
But
all
tell me how you
this
really feel. I'm just trying to
all,
take part
all
in this
it
topic
doesn't matter if
moment.
you have all these companies, now you have bought them, yes, good, and you have some good some heavy hitters. Yeah, you have Ninja Theory, you have fucking Exile, uh, and of course you continue having the curriculum or whatever the hell they're called. I forgot the the
The
coalition,
what?
the coalition. I meant to
Oh,
say.
the coalition. Yeah,
Uh,
the
but
curriculum.
the curriculum. I'm thinking like, what the fuck? Uh, but that means shit if they're not releasing like their own Spider-Man. Not literally, but you know what I mean. It's like their net, like
Hmm.
amazing game, like their next Last of Us. Their next, and all you're doing is, oh well, Halo, Gears of War, another Forza. It's like
Hmm.
it's time.
I
Not
think they're
gonna
heading
work
in the right
anymore for
direction
this. Yeah, with Ninja Theory for
with Ninja
sure.
Theory. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
yeah. For with some of the studios that they have purchased. Hell yes, but it can't be fucking Sea of Thieves, Crackdown 3. All those games that were touted as, oh, this game is amazing, and it ended up being a colossal disappointment. That's at the end of the day. At the end of the day, that's what matters. That's where we should be looking at. What is,
The games.
what are the
Hmm.
games that are
The games.
that are coming from, and we should not be like this fucking flag wavering. That so I get the console wars sometimes are fun just to spark debate, but you get people being like, "Well, I don't care. I'm never gonna buy the PlayStation 5," or the opposite more often than not. Well, fuck Xbox. I will never get an Xbox. It's like, okay, I get it. If you're reasonable, if you're telling me that it's because your friends are on this console or the games that you want to play are on these consoles, I get it. Not everybody has the income to like own everything that comes out, right? But if you're just doing it out of like stupid fucking flag wavering bullshit,
Fanboyism.
fanboyism, then like
Hmm.
grow the fuck up. You know what I mean? It's like at this time, like make sure that you actually have some arguments of why of why you are you know you want this particular one versus this particular one that is not something other than, well, Xbox sucks or Sony sucks. It's like that's not an argument, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree 100%.
Yeah. I don't think you guys have any particular questions on.
No, actually, the biggest one was when you answered regarding the speed, which I didn't catch that from what I had seen. But then again, I didn't see the other one with Xbox either, so maybe that's why I miss that
Any,
being an important part of it. But
Guys have,
any
yeah.
questions? I didn't even know what to ask before this started.
That is that is those are the things to take away from. It's not about the spec sheet, because at the end of the day that means nothing if the games aren't there. And we have said this a lot. Also, you know, keep in mind some benefits. The fact that Xbox Series X is using proprietary SSDs as expandable storage cards, that's kind of lame. At the end of the day, I don't trust them to handle anything that is proprietary and not price it ridiculously. I didn't talk
yeah, it's
about it.
proprietary. You have to basically.
Yeah, I didn't talk about it, but the approach that Sony has towards it, it's a lot more consumer friendly, in the sense that you basically could buy an SSD from a list that they're gonna provide a list of compatible SSDs, because the SSDs or they're called NVMe's actually, but because they're thinner than SSDs. But basically, it's imagine it's a similar solution. Uh, this NVMe's SSDs, they come in all different shapes and sizes, right? So suddenly Sony has to account for, okay, which ones fit on the console even, right?
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
So they're gonna give you a list, but the good thing is that it's from the available. NVMEs that you can just buy a new egg or at Amazon or wherever. Not a GameStop, because they don't sell that shit because they're not essential.
I was gonna say, yeah,
And that approach is a lot more consumer friendly. When you see that way, and
agreed.
do not underestimate the speed of that. Double the power, double the speed. It's like, yes, most almost all of the bullet points. I would say almost all of the bullet points of the system. When you compare them side by side, you say, oh, the Xbox have higher spec on all of them, except the most important one that they should have considered, which is that the speed of that SSD, because that is the real game changer, and that is the thing that gets me excited about the PlayStation 5, more than anything, because
Nice.
the possibilities
Are
in the
endless.
game, huh?
The possibilities are endless.
The possibilities are endless. Greatness awaits and all that
Greatness awaits.
bullshit.
All the marketing jargon that
Yeah.
they've been touting for years.
How do you guys think?
Awesome. Well,
What do you guys think? And we're gonna close it here. I know you're trying to close. I'm sorry. I just wanted to, because I realized I was the only, almost, I felt like I was the only person talking on it. But I am interested in hearing your opinions. How do you guys feel about this console generation coming in with a more focused Microsoft? Hopefully, I'm still wanting to believe that is not, they're not miring TV or doing that crap. They're focusing on
oh,
games.
I knew they
and
weren't going to do that. So
yeah. So I mean, does this kind of stuff interest you, excite you? Are you guys still gonna wait and see? Are any of these consoles day one, or what are your thoughts?
I am getting the PlayStation 5 day one if possible.
All right.
Am
I
I
am
excited?
getting the.
I am excited for the new generation for sure, but honestly, other than what I've learned here today, this is not something that particularly interests me. If you're not going to show me any games and what all of these specs mean to those games, and you lost me, and that's why I guess most people were lost in the whole presentation,
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
That's the whole thing. Like, I appreciate everything that you taught us here today. I really
Yeah, for
appreciated it.
real. You actually broke it down very well, and I
Yeah,
appreciate that as well.
but coming from Sony and Microsoft, it doesn't mean anything unless you show me what the hell it means.
Yeah, yeah. It's this presentation might not be veered towards the developers, but developers got it, and the developers, I know they're an excited bunch, and I say that I know because there was
I'm
an
glad
article.
somebody got it.
There was an article where he was showing like the tweets from different developing companies, and they were like, "Oh yeah, this is great to hear. This is something," and it's good to know because again, a lot of people were concerned with they were expecting that PlayStation 4 was just gonna floor the Xbox specs, and then they kind of got disappointed where they saw they didn't. It's like, no, no, hold on. There's parity here. There's actually a huge advantage. When you think about it, you just have to s- see
Dig a little
past
deeper.
see past the actual spec sheet and consider the changes that these technologies bring, like that SSD.
Nice. I will probably be close to, if not day one, for PlayStation, but that's just because that's the ecosystem I'm in. It has nothing to do with, contrary to popular belief, has zero to do with me being against any other the consoles.
Sure,
It's
sure.
just and I mentioned there was a time that I was honestly a few weeks away from leaping over because I was not going to pay $600 for a PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360 was out and it had BioShock, and that was a game that was taking the world by storm at that point, and it was only available on that, and that was almost a system seller for me. And I probably would be an Xbox owner if it wasn't for the fact that everybody around me was starting to get that red ring of death. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I was like, never
Yeah.
mind. you know, so yeah, so that's where I'm going. But no, I agree that I both camps have to be strong in order for this to benefit gamers. And from what we've seen, it looks like both of them are taking uh, strides to make sure that they're gamer focused, developer focused, and that's great.
Which is what we
That's great.
want.
So
Which is definitely
exactly.
what we want. I'll probably I will I will hang up to Xbox to see what they have to bring. I need to know what games are coming out, but not just know what games are coming out. I need to see when they're released how they perform and all that. I'm a technology whore, so I obviously, if I could if I could own both, I would honestly. Um, and honestly, if Xbox end up killing it, I will get an Xbox, but I will also get a PS5. Why? Because I know that it's gonna have the titles that I'm gonna play. Like
Hmm.
PlayStation 4 proved itself so well that the only way that I will turn and say no to a PS5 is if somehow their message got screwed, somehow got screwed. Like if I saw the return of you know
Arrogant Sony.
arrogant
American
Sony.
Sony.
Yeah, something like that. And not just that, not just a return, because they could have that, but seeing and making decisions that are like, no, wait a minute, you don't tell me how I play my games. Like, you don't tell me that Rumble is not important, therefore you're taking it out, or shit like that. Which obviously to this day, I think both the companies have learned enough to avoid
Yeah, I
those
think I
pitfalls.
think we're past that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we're
So
past that both arrogance. I think both of them. You had Sony arrogant early on. They learned from their mistakes. PlayStation 4 proved that.
yeah.
Xbox arrogant early on with
TV,
Xbox
TV, TV,
One,
TV, TV.
and so far, yeah. Well, even mid generation, I think the games aren't there, but the intent is.
Mhm.
And so they're carrying that intent over to the new generation. So I think they're both there. Now it's really just going to be, and you know what I think? I think in the future, all this is going to be crossplay anyway. So,
Yeah, that's true.
and spread throughout. Once they realize there's just more money to be made by doing so, because the software is where you make the money anyway.
Hmm.
Then what's the big deal? So,
And in your faces now, both of you are PC gamers. Yes, because the PlayStation 5 and Xbox are PCs. Thank you.
and on that ridiculous note, that
True.
brings us to the end of an awesome episode 204. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. As always, please go to goodgame.rocks, join the conversation there, and please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. This is Mad Dog signing off for this week. Mr. Chaos Reaper.
I just want to thank Dream for. And first off, I need to ask,
Ah,
Dream, are your shoulders okay? How's that back?
my shoulders,
Your
my
shoulder,
back. Why?
yeah.
I had to
Are you?
carry it because I had to
Because you
carry it.
carried the shit out of that
Yeah,
hot
you did.
topic. All
Okay.
You
right.
did.
I
And
don't
Oh,
you
think there's
owned it.
ever been a
Well
hot
done.
topic that I've been part of that I've been so goddamn quiet that I literally had to remind everybody I'm still here.
That's hilarious.
like I
Right?
said, I'm a technology whore. I do like. I was one of those few that kind of enjoyed. At the end, I can say that, yeah, this is cool. I love what PlayStation 5 is bringing, and
That's great. And I love it. You want to know why I love it? Because I don't like none of that shit. And I have you to teach me about it when it happens.
you you give us the PlayStation 5 specs for dummies.
so
Wow, I was going to say the layman terms, but yeah, for dummies.
I feel like we could all use some of that.
Listen. I just want to say thank you very much for this kind of hot topic. This isn't the first time that you've done this, and I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, man. You
Ditto.
got it. You got it.
Ditto. All right, Mr. Santos, the man of the hour. Take us home.
I appreciate you guys appreciating this. I didn't know that. I guess I didn't participate on others as much as I did in this one. I don't know.
No. The problem is that we had zero participation in this one,
Oh
Right.
and
no, you guys.
it's mostly because all I really had were questions, and
Oh, good.
you taking the reins of it, and kind of you were actually there to see both. It kind of and obviously I think it does the same thing for listeners as well. So
I will say, and this will be my last words. I will invite you guys to watch, because you guys are already know the specs on the PlayStation 5, from what you heard. I invite you to check out that Xbox Digital Foundry reveal. Just kind of put it in the background where you do your dishes or whatever, so you can see the difference. We'll probably see why people were upset, because Xbox didn't have to show, they didn't show next gen games or anything like that, but their message was clear enough with what they show, and it was satisfying at the end, because it left you, the only questions that remain are the ones that neither of them have answered, which is price
price.
and release date. We still don't, they're both targeting 2020, still holiday 2020, but the crazy way things have been, we still don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, again, thanks so much for tuning in. This is we're signing out for this week. We'll see you next week.
GG!
GG!